My stepsister lied about pitching in for wedding expenses. Now everything's ruined.
Stop ruining stuff, sis.
Don't do it. Hi all. My female 35 mother married my stepdad when I was 17. He had a daughter from a previous marriage, Ellie, female 29. We were never close because when they moved in with us, Ellie was super clingy and would always follow me around and basically stalked me in my own home.
Gross.
Can your like sisters and stepsisters, is it stalking?
Stalking? I mean, yeah,
following you around.
I think it would be more like imprinting, like a little baby duckling.
Oh, yeah.
But you could say a baby duckling stalking you.
That's true. You know, they're stalking their mamas.
Stalking their mamas.
Stop that. I'm going to get a restraining order on you, Mama Duck.
Yeah. Ooh.
She was your typical know-it-all, barely left the house, so basically had zero friends that weren't online. Ouch. Okay.
Dang. Tell us what you really think.
Damn. I'm sorry.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Advice Please. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So Ellie managed to graduate early and get into a really good college on scholarships, then got a master's degree there as well. Okay, there we go. She's in engineering, and her college is apparently one of the best ones for engineering. So straight after graduating, she was earning a crazy amount of money.
This sounds great. It sounds like she grew up.
Where are we going into the problem? I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, it feels like I'm only seeing solutions right now.
Right.
Like an engineer, like a good engineer.
Fix it, baby.
Fix it.
She's been rubbing this in my face ever since she got the acceptance letter. Ooh. When she got home, she was always wearing the university hoodie, always talking about what she's doing at college, sending videos of robots and crap into the family group chat.
Disgusting. How dare you be proud of your accomplishments and your school? Throw your little hoodie away. Stop bragging all the time.
Yeah. Opie might be an a-hole. I don't know, dude.
So far, all I'm seeing is some jealousy.
Now that she's earning so much, it's crap like her paying off our parents' car loans for Christmas or getting extravagant gifts for everyone.
The gall, the absolute horseradish of a person to do something so cruel, so flex-worthy. Ugh.
I'm confused, dude. This is great.
Dude, there's this guy I heard about that was like going around like giving fish to strangers and curing the blind. Total a-hole.
Dude.
Total a-hole.
Just a complete show off. Like,
just show off. I mean, like dying for our sins. Like he owns the place. Like you know, crappy person right there.
Dude, water into wine. How about some mineral water?
How about some mineral? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I even want wine? No one asked. No one asked if I wanted wine. A-hole, you know,
shoving it in my face.
You know,
dude.
Also I'm trying to be sober more. Like honestly, you know, really, not reading the room.
Yeah, stop giving me shots, Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm trying to chill.
Trying to do AA right now.
Don't forget the time he, put mud on a guy's face and he could finally see for the first time.
ridiculous. You know, like I can see clearly now that you're a show off. Like,
let him figure it out on his own. For Christ's sake,
give a blind man an eye. He'll see for a day, but teach a blind man to use a stick and he'll see for a lifetime.
He'll feel around forever. Anywho, back to OP. So we had a few fights about it. Wow, but we always made up. So on to this year. I got engaged last year in February to my fiance, male 32. I asked my sister if she would pitch in, and she said she would help out. Knowing she had the money, I got to plan my dream wedding.
Yeah, she's going to cover the whole thing. I'm thinking diamonds instead of flowers.
Diamond!
ICUs in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to get a regular wedding band, but dream wedding. Rihanna. You know, I think she should perform at my wedding.
I thought you were saying wedding band like the ring, and it's like
no.
It's just like sapphires all the way around, and then
exactly.
and Rihanna.
Yeah, and Rihanna.
Shine bright like diamonds.
Oh yeah, she's the best diamond of all.
Get a bunch of diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited about planning our big day with your sister's freaking money. That was all until I showed her the plans. And she pulled the rug from beneath my feet. You give a wedding plan for $1 million for someone else to pay for, and suddenly they don't want to do it.
I mean, when you steal a rug and start standing on it, don't get mad when someone's like, "That's my rug. I'm taking that back."
Exactly.
You know, you're gonna get the rug pulled out from you a lot with that kind of attitude.
Calm down, Aladdin. So she asked me how I'm paying for it. My husband and I didn't do college, so we're not high earners.
And not high thinkers either.
Oh, God. And I reminded her that she said that she would help. She's now saying that she won't help pay for it and that she will, at the absolute most, pay for my dress.
She said she'd help, not bankroll your entire wedding.
Dude,
oh, man.
OP. We are now currently at 83% the a-hole, 17% not the a-hole, but that might have been before all of this stuff that we have.
You can vote again and change your vote.
Yes, you can change your vote. I told her it's unfair of her to lie to me and only tell me after planning everything that she isn't actually going to help. Wow. She blew up at me over this, not being close in the past, and blamed me for it. It takes two people to bond, but she claims everything is my fault. We argued for a bit, and now she's not even paying for my dress. All the wedding planning I've done has been for nothing now. My parents are split, with my mom saying Ellie needs to honor her word and let me have the wedding I planned. OP is definitely her mother's daughter, my God. And we all pitch in what we can afford. Oh, my God. My stepdad is angry. I asked her in the first place and dug up some old arguments from when I was 17. So am I the a-hole for expecting her to do what she said? Ladies and gentlemen, we have some relevant comments, but we have to talk.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between I will help and I will pay for everything.
Yes.
I will help could mean anything between giving you $1 for roses and paying for the whole thing. Anywhere between $1 and paying for the whole thing is technically helping.
Yeah.
And so to assume that when someone says, I'm going to help, that means that they're going to pay for the whole wedding is absolutely ridiculous.
Insane.
I don't think OP's sister is the a-hole at all. I think OP is the a-hole entirely for being so entitled to think that their sister would pay for everything. And also, like, I'm just seeing a lot of jealousy from OP about, like, you know, wearing your school sweater is, I don't know, normal. It's a normal thing to do.
Like, I feel like her sister is literally just living her life. She's like, I mean, how cute is it and how great is it for a stepsister coming in to be like, hey, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm curious. Like, that's great. I feel like she's like, oh, she's like always following around. She's always wearing her sweater. I feel like she's just being a cool, smart, interesting person, and her sister hates her for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're cool, smart, and interesting, and you're next to someone who's not cool, smart, and interesting, that person who's not might feel a little insecure. And I think that is what is happening here.
That does happen.
Amy Lynn says OP's the bigger a-hole, but everyone's an a-hole. And Pamela SP Butterfly says they are both an a-hole.
Please explain. I'm curious because maybe there is something on, like, I mean, she said she'd pay for the dress, which has got to be up to thousands of dollars. That's enough.
Yeah.
I think that's helping.
Is pulling back from paying for the dress because of this confrontation an a-hole move?
At the end of the day, you're not entitled to other people's stuff. So I think from, like, OP, maybe, you know what, maybe isn't an a-hole, maybe it is kind of an a-hole move to withdraw that, but at the same time, I feel like OP has to recognize, you know what, like, her bank account isn't my bank account. Like, I pissed her off. Like, all right, she, you know what, she's entitled to do whatever she wants with her money and how she wants to live her life. Yeah,
I would say that if there was an a-hole move, it would be the taking away the paying for the dress from the sister, but everything else I honestly can't see what would be a-hole about sharing the fact that you like wearing your college sweater or sharing your robots that you make. That doesn't feel like, nothing that I heard felt a-hole-ish to me.
Yeah, Lucy P says if me and my partner are having a wedding, I'm assuming I'm paying for everything.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is different from culture to culture, but I think maybe outside of like very explicit cultural norms, like, assume you're going to be the one.
Yeah.
If you're doing something, you're responsible for it.
Boom.
Is that
boom?
Am I crazy? Am I a madman?
I
for
do
saying
not
that?
think you are a madman. I think you are a made man,
Ooh.
and you are made of good ideas because that idea was good.
Oh, gravy. Watch out or you'll get whacked, ladies and gentlemen. But we've got some relevant comments in this story as well. Taylorson WI, who says, info, was she specific about what she said she'd pay for? If I offer to take my friend out for dinner, he's kind of an a-hole if he picks a $75 plate place. She might have figured she'd be helping with stuff like hall rental and dress costs, and you decided to soak her. OP says, we didn't go over specifics since I asked her right when I started planning and realized it would have had to be very low budget without her help. I asked if she'd be able to pitch in, and she said she could. Then once I knew she was helping and had a lot of money, I planned the wedding I actually wanted.
It sounds like you didn't talk about how much she wanted to put in.
Yeah, it sounds like you had low budget wedding. Oh, I'm willing to help plan this whole thing and then I'll show it to you.
I also feel like she like it's like, oh, like engineers make a lot of money, but she might not know exactly how much her sister makes. It's like, oh, engineer must be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Get the helicopters. We're going in on white horses. We're parachuting with the horses into the wedding venue. Like, she's like planning the extravagant wedding of her dreams.
I don't have, just because I have an engineer salary doesn't mean I can drop $50,000 on your freaking wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen. She never asked me about the cost since she knew I was just starting to figure out everything. It wasn't until I went back to her with my final decisions on everything that she yanked the rug from under my feet. Gotta love the terminology there. Yeah. Spirited Tip 7370 says, you're the a-hole. You admit you are not close. Why should she pay? Another great point. They're not close.
Yeah, they're not even. And yeah, it's like a stepsister relationship that's not even close.
Yes.
That's nuts.
And remember, they became stepsisters when OP was 17 years old. They missed their entire childhood together. Yeah. Not to say they couldn't become close as adults, but that's like...
But they're not close.
They're not, they're not close. And they didn't even share a childhood. OP says, because she's earning a crap ton and we are family. The only reason she earns more than me is because she got lucky and got into a crazy expensive school on a scholarship. Yeah, she earned the scholarship.
She was smart and worked hard.
Yes. I didn't go to college, so now I should be forced into a wedding I don't want.
Oh, God. Oh, God. The I feel like the entitlement combined with the stupidity is just like a terrible combo.
Listen, OP is... For those of us who didn't go to college, OP is not giving us a good name right now with the intelligence levels going on here.
Yeah, not great. Not a great combo, man. At least she's got confidence, you know.
I love your confidence.
She's saying hold out with your chest.
Yeah, she is visualizing and manifesting millionaire status, you know.
Yes, other people's millions.
Other people's millions. Yeah.
Slightbar 534 says, you're the a-hole. Pay for your own wedding. Tacky asking her for money. She said she would help out, not pay for your dream wedding. You sound jealous of her hard work and success. OP says, I have had to work way harder than her. I've been at minimum wage since 17 trying to make ends meet. She got handed a scholarship on a silver platter and now she's set up for life. Lip Gloss Addict says, this isn't how scholarships work. This isn't how college works. Unless you were born into generational wealth, you get what you work for and earn, not what you deserve. That's true for everyone on Earth. And OP says, I should have mentioned her college. Sorry. She went to MIT. One of the hardest schools.
She went to MIT and got a full scholarship.
That is, I mean, the level of genius you have to take and the level of work. It is.
MIT is like the hardest engineering school to get into in the country.
Yes.
In the country.
Probably in the world.
Probably in the world.
Probably
like you have to get into MIT, you have to be like coding from like being like from the time you were a fetus.
Yep.
And like build $1 billion company.
Exactly.
Like it is hard to get into MIT.
God. Well, that gives us even more context of how crazy you are, OP. She went to MIT, so the job she has now was gotten through mainly connections she made while there. Like, our family isn't generationally wealthy, but she got the chance to cozy up to those people, and now she lives as one of them.
called networking.
It's called networking.
Yep. It's number 6 on the list of 2025.
Number 6 in terms of
hardest school to get into.
Oh,
like
where's
globally
UCLA on that? UCLA engineering. Look that up.
Oh, I don't think it's on the list. We got Duke. That's hard.
Let's find it. Ask chat.
Ask chat.
Then ask UC Santa Cruz. Number 4,321. That's where I went for a very short time. Your circumstances in no way entitles you to anyone else's money. Heck, offering to pay for a dress is generous given you are a stepsister who, from the sounds of it, treats her poorly. If I were her, I would never bother thinking about you ever again. OP, that's cold.
But true.
OP responds, I don't treat her poorly. When she first moved in, I admit I wasn't the kindest to her because I was 17 and she was a freaky kid.
Freaky kid. Building robots, doing homework.
OP just keeps getting better. She had skipped 2 grades and was a total know-it-all. She had no friends and used to practically stalk me, always followed me around asking to hang out with me and my friends. Literally never left me alone for 2 years till she made some online friends and glued herself to the computer. She's just smart and
she's a genius.
Yeah. I mean, what kid who's like a super genius 2 grades younger is going to be, I could totally see her having a hard time making friends. Oh my gosh. Okay, Stable 7501 says, info needed. How much brainwashing did it take to convince your fiance with the whole stepsister that I've always hated pays for my dream wedding plan? OP says, I never hated her. We just don't click well. I like talking about normal things. And she comes in talking about some science crap that's going to allegedly change the world or some interesting fact that she learned that everybody must know. She's just a bit grating. I don't hate her. We just don't mesh well. Reddit has a verdict of a-hole for the story.
Which, yeah, duh.
We're almost at the end of this specific story. We have many more in this episode, but what are we thinking right now, Sam? If you're the stepsister, what do you do? What's your course of action?
I mean, OP is so entitled. I would just I'll go low contact.
Yeah, I think we need to put OP in timeout.
Yeah, because this is like so ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the update. 4 days later. Obviously, none of you value family. Here we go. One of you felt the need to track down Ellie and send her the post. Oh
my God.
Which was unnecessary and cruel. She texted me this yesterday morning with this. Hey, someone sent me your Reddit post. I am still processing all the things you said about me. I knew you didn't care for me, and I knew you resented me when we were kids. I didn't know you were capable of denigrating my character to that extent.
Ooh, denigrating. That's the MIT freaking word right there.
Opie's probably like, stop using your stupid words at me.
Stupid big words. What does that mean?
Grading? I'm not cheese. I have never done anything but treat you like a sister. Using my real name, all of my personal information to the extent that someone could Google and track me down that easily. You know I'm a private person. What if someone else at work sees it? What if effing anyone sees it? I left a comment in anger, but I deleted it. I cannot believe you would make this so public, and I should not be stooping to your level. As for the wedding, you're on your own, and I am not paying for anything, attending, or participating in any way. I do not deserve this.
Boom. I mean, that's true.
Not
only is she smart, she knows how to set boundaries. MIT, let's go.
I want to see her. I want to hear a story from her. Like, we need some good relationship.
I want to hear about her science crap.
Right? Yeah. I think it's interesting. I'm blocking your number, and I would appreciate it if you didn't try to contact me through other means. I've told Dad that if he wants to see me again, he can come visit me. Ideally, we will not see each other again. I talked to my fiance and told him through tears what Ellie had done. Even he turned on me. He started screaming at me about how I shouldn't have asked Ellie and how I didn't tell him during the planning that she was paying for it. I tried to explain to him, but he won't stop screaming at me. So just to be clear, this is back to, so now we're going back to, I think, OP's perspective and story.
Yep.
So even OP's husband didn't know that her whole plan was to go to her sister Ellie and try to make her pay for it.
Ridiculous.
He called me names, screamed at me while I was already crying, and then left. She has everyone wrapped around her finger. She's so manipulative. I don't know who I can even turn to right now because she has them all convinced she's so perfect.
Maybe it's because you're a bad person.
Oh, dude.
Not a bad person. You're just making very dumb decisions.
Yes, making the bad decisions over here. My mom is the only one I can trust right now. I'm going to stay with her for a while. By the way, you can stay with us for a while. 63 days, in fact, straight, because if you go to Apple, Spotify, iHeart Podcasts, and search OK Storytime, you can listen to 63 straight days of content. We have a huge catalog for you to binge and enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the final part, but Sam, last thoughts, closing thoughts here.
I mean, this person, OP, so entitled, very silly. I'm glad that her sister's standing her ground.
Yes. Agreed. Ellie has been ruining my life since I was 17, and now she's managed to ruin my relationship. I cannot believe you people have sided with her when all she's ever done is destroy my life. She's off in a whole other state and once again is facing no consequences for her actions. Her actions of attending MIT and being successful.
Terrible.
How dare you? I found her work email online from a thing she published and messaged her. Blowing through the boundaries.
Okay.
Gotta love it. She still hasn't responded yet, but I will let you all know when she does.
Man, the finger is everywhere but pointing at yourself.
That's where it needs to be.
That's where it needs to be.
Ladies and gentlemen. I have to ski diddly daddle.
Ski diddly daddle.
But I will pass it to my good friend Sam and Sophia, who walked in with such great timing. I love you all. See you soon. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, Johnny Bahami.
My sister said she'd sue me over her own lies, so she's no longer welcomed in my house.
Wow, she really just like Uno reverse carded herself?
Sounds like it. So, I, 26 female, have a sister, 31 female. Let's call her Jane. Jane is not my bio sister, but we grew up in the same household. For as long as I can remember, Jane has had this victim mentality. By the way, this comes from Additional Loan 41 and on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, mom passed away when she was young. Dad was never in the picture, but mom, her aunt/godmother, took her in. She lived with us for 13 years before she got married and moved to Idaho with her husband. We never had the best relationship growing up, but I assumed it was just sibling rivalry, and we could grow out of it like me and my baby sister, 25 female. My mom passed away in 2020, and Jane thought it was right that she inherit my mom's engagement ring, even after declaring at the funeral that my mom was not her mom, just a woman who helped raise her. Engagement ring is a sentimental thing, and if you have no sentiment for your own mother, I think it's best that you don't get the ring, right? Am I talking crazy here? I then moved back to my parents' home because I felt bad for my dad and didn't want him to be alone. After converting to the top floor of our 3-story home into a mini apartment for myself, Jane raised concerns that there would be no space for her to come to during Christmas time, but we made do. My dad recently paid off the home and signed the deed over to me under the condition that he live there rent-free until he passes, since I had been helping him pay the mortgage and would continue to pay the taxes on the home. I dismantled the apartment on the 3rd floor, making it once again a 5-bedroom home. However, 2 of the bedrooms my sister used to occupy are now a walk-in closet and a room for my dogs. I added a pool, a new bathroom, renovated the kitchen, and turned the basement into a bar lounge area. Once this was completed, Jane asked me how we would split the sale of the home. I was confused as what she meant. I was not selling my home. She stated that since my dad paid it off, that when he passed away, that the house would go to all of us and we should just get ahead and sell the property now. Now, I told her that I was not selling and that my dad signed it over to me. She then said she would call someone to appraise the house and I would then have to buy her and my little sister out. When I told her again that I owned the home, I was not selling and she wasn't getting any money and she threatened to sue me. I told her to leave. A few weeks later, she called my dad and asked what the plans were for Christmas and if I was going to be staying in a hotel since I could not be cordial. My dad told her I would not be staying in a hotel, but she was still welcome to come and stay with us. I politely informed him that she nor her family were welcome to stay, and if he needed to stay with her over the holidays, he could also stay in a hotel. Now, she called my whole family and gone on a campaign of how evil I am for doing this over the holidays. What are we doing, guys? If your family members go to social media to slander your name, you do a get ready with me immediately. Tell the people what's up boom, you got millions of people on your side. That's how it goes. You want to slander me? You want to campaign against me? Great. I'm going to take what I just wrote. Get ready with me. You're done. I'm going to have millions of people on your side. Who cares what grandma and aunt think? I got 4 million people that agree with me.
I mean, if you can get that many people on your side, it's a lot of leverage.
Even thousands of people, even hundreds of people on your side. Most of my family agrees with her, except a few who do not want to be involved, saying that she only said she'd sue me out of anger after realizing something else was taken from her. Her mom, her dad, my mom, now her childhood home, which leads me to believe that maybe they are right. OP, don't back down. Am I being too harsh on her after all her struggles in life, or is she simply just being an itch? Dude, people go through struggles and their character is determined by how they handle it. She's not respecting you or your home. This is not on you. She needs to deal with this. This isn't on you.
People's baggage and people's trauma don't excuse their behavior. It informs it. And literally every single person has struggles and burdens. So you can't really just go, oh, but my problems. It's like every single person has their problems. And the mission of life is to work through them and figure them out, not lean into them and make them everyone else's, responsibility or duty. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so edit. Little sis is fine. Please stop worrying about her. She's not a problem, hence why I did not list everything she got from our mom or from our dad. We got an update. I suggested my dad stay in a hotel with Jane because he was insistent that she spend Christmas with him. I didn't say he couldn't live with me anymore. I don't think it's unreasonable not to want to be around someone who wanted to sue and may still try to. Also, I got the engagement ring. This adds to the resentment the sister has on you.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you got the house and engagement ring?
That informs a lot, yeah.
My family doesn't like me. My family just doesn't want anything to do with me, and I don't like it.
I don't know. Maybe they did the betting odds and they said, I don't think this one's getting married anytime soon.
I thought it was crazy that someone declared that that's not my mom, but still wanted a ring that my dad bought. Also, little sis got the wedding bands. Dad also gave Jane significant amounts of money to open her own bakery. Little sis took over his business. So everyone is benefiting from this. I got home, and the retirement and life insurance will be split in 3. If he passes, he can't. We got some comments. Commenter, presumably she already inherited from both her bio parents, so that's why she would expect to share from her guardians as well, let alone while one is still alive and living in the home she wants to sell from under him. She's literally intended to turf Dad out of his home so she could profit after he lost his wife. She's a ghoul. Opie says she did not inherit anything from her parents. My dad's side of the family has the money. It's my mom's side she's from. Oh, interesting. Commenter, minor error your dad made. It was not ideal for your sister/cousin to have no idea that the childhood home was deeded to you. While this is reasonable, given the money you put into it and possibly also the time you spent to take care of your dad aging, it would be better that this arrangement was known to all the kids and openly discussed. I can see why she was blindsided. But also horrible a-hole behavior from your sister/cousin. She wanted to sell your father's home while he's living in it. That's really appalling. What is your dad supposed to do? Is he very ill and expected not to live long? That wasn't clear from the post. This would be stressful for him. Why couldn't she let him live and peacefully in his home? Opie says, I do not think that he told her, and she heard what she wanted to hear. And no, he's actually thriving. He just wanted to retire and not have to worry about bills or the house, so that's why he wanted to live there. He did say if my baby sister has a grandson for him, and he would move in with her. I think he just wanted to be stress-free. That makes sense. I think he's just retired and is like, could you handle this?
I need a handler. I need someone to handle.
Commenter, how old is your dad? Does he have an ironclad with that neither Jane or your other sister would be able to contest? Is your name on the deed for the house? He's 60, does have a will. Little sis won't do that. And yes, my name is on the deed. Opie clarifies. Okay, /update clarification. My dad is 60. He's not ill or going to pass away soon, God forbid. He's already signed the house over to me. He just wants to live there so he doesn't have to stress about bills or anything. My sister was under the impression that he paid it off and he would sell it in a 4-way split. And since I wanted to live there, I would be buying the house from my dad, but he signed it over to me. What does your younger sister think about the home being put in your name? She might have some reason to complain, but if she's okay, you're good as far as I see. Little sister does not care, Opie says. She knows when my dad passes, she will get something. And honestly, if I ever sold a house, I would give her some cash, LOL. But we got an update, guys. Update. The family wedding was over the weekend and everything there was great. No drama. I kept my distance from Jane. The bride was not outstaged at all. What kind of wedding story were we reading then?
Hey, that's a refreshing switch up from the norm.
That's interesting. Well, not by me and the drama at least. However, Sunday after the wedding, my aunt Renee called me to ask if I would be coming to dinner to celebrate Christmas early since Jane was in town and would not be coming for the actual holiday. I politely declined. I said I would send the children's gift with my dad, but there was no need to go and pretend that I was over Jane's behavior. My aunt then said I would be upset too if he refused to give me my share, but give my little sis her share. That really shows a divide. Aunt Renee is stirring the pot.
She's stirring it up.
I asked her to say that again. That's also good. Like, if someone says something to you and you're like, what? Be like, 1, silence for about 5 to 7 seconds. 2, could you say that again? They say it again. They hear themselves. And then 2nd, all right, bye. And you hang up. And then they have to sit with it.
They have to think.
I asked her to say that again because I think I hallucinated. Jane really has been out there saying I split the house with my little sister when I did not. I explained to my aunt what actually happened and then told my dad. And then my dad confirmed the information I gave. My aunt was shocked. Not only had Jane lied to her and the whole family, she also lied and said my dad never gave her anything. Yeah, dude, dad needs to do a get ready with me and explain everything. He gave me the house, my little sister his business, and Jane a lump sum money to start her bakery since she had no interest in running the family business. But if you want this business we got going on to keep going right now, go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, whatever. Search up OK Storytime and boom, we got stories just as crazy as this. If you like inherited stories, we got them. DNA stories, we got them. Mother-in-law stories, we got them. Cheating stories, we got them.
Maybe one day we'll have Severance stories.
I hope not.
I have like a story where it's like, I watched an episode of Severance without my girlfriend and now she's divorcing me.
We got a little bit more of the story. But Jane is currently staying with Aunt Renee. Oh, interesting. So she's been hearing all the lies from living there. But Renee is now upset and feels duped into this whole mess. Renee and my dad are both quite upset with Jane, but still believe that I should forgive and forget and move forward. Renee is going to talk to Jane tomorrow before she leaves to go back to Idaho, but I'm not sure if it will do anything. Not a great/entertaining update, I think it is, but I guess I felt compelled to finish the story. At this point, though, I don't care if I'm the a-hole. I was surprised with the amount of comments saying I was, but I don't need any more stress from these people. Comment, who the F said you're the a-hole? Your sister is the only a-hole here. Protect your dad. OP says, I guess because I told my dad that if she wanted to stay in my home, she could get a hotel and he could go with her. Okay, so people assume she was her dad out of the house. So that's why they said she was the a-hole. But she wasn't doing that. Reading comprehension, come on. Put a summary on ChatGPT if you don't even know what's going on. Come on. That's a story right there. I don't even know what I would do if my siblings did that. Because in a way, so let's say like my mom left her house to my brother Tate. And I was like, Tate, you're going to split the house, right? Whenever you leave. And Tate's staying in North Carolina. Tate's not going anywhere. You know how much of an a-hole I would be if I did that and try to put my brother in that situation?
Pretty big, stinky one, yeah. I don't know. It's like sometimes, it would be less of a problem if your relationship was better, right? It's like you wouldn't have to worry about who's getting what because y'all can all share in the bounty together. My sister-in-law tried to fool me for her wedding, so I am not attending anymore.
You go, girl.
I don't know how to handle a situation I'm in. I also apologize in advance for the long wall of text. It's a complicated situation. My husband's sister is somewhat estranged from the family, and her name is Amanda. She doesn't have any girlfriends.
Ooh.
By the way, this comes from user snubbed. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Do it there. So, she is very close to her mom and her brother's girlfriend, but not really to the rest of her family. In fact, she only really comes around when she needs something or when she knows that you can be of use. Otherwise, she rarely attends functions and never talks, writes, or calls, and never otherwise actively engages with or supports the family. Most of this is stuff I've been too naive to notice until now. And as the new in-law, I've been eager to make sure I'm on everyone's good side at any rate. Recently, Amanda and I began forming a bond, and I genuinely felt like I could call her a very close friend. She and her fiance are getting married this May. It's just a ceremony as he is an illegal immigrant right now, and they do have a child together. When she had the baby, my husband and I were the only ones of her siblings that she allowed to visit while in the hospital. I've taken baby photos for her. I've helped her with so much. We really had a good friendship going. Anyways, she is incredibly thrifty, so she's trying to make this wedding happen as inexpensively as possible. I am a professional photographer, so she asked me why we charge so much for weddings. I explained to her all of what goes into it, and she was like, I don't want to have to pay for just a few photos. In my naivete, I shrugged it off, but I feel this is pertinent because it comes into play later. She already had bought a dress for $100 to $200 at a thrift shop, which that's not thrifty, but was unhappy about it. So she took me and her maid of honor, Sally, her brother's girlfriend, to go dress shopping with her. Until this point, she only wanted Sally to be in her wedding, which I was fine with. When trying on dresses, she also asked me to be her bridesmaid.
Okay, so she's recruiting now?
She just recruited. You just got recruited. Because I knew she was in the heat of the moment, I purposefully did not partake when she asked Sally to try on a bridesmaid dress. I simply and happily sat back and enjoyed being on the other side of wedding dress shopping. A few days later, I asked her if she really meant it when she asked me to be her bridesmaid. Very excitedly, she said something along the lines of, "Oh yes, of course. I wouldn't dream of getting married without both of you up there with me." So I was excited. Game on, man.
I like that. I like that she kind of took a step back, asked her if it wasn't in the heat of the moment, and then went for it.
Gave her the time to process.
Nice.
You sounded like that one character from a regular show. I can't think of his name right now.
Pops?
Pops. Thank you.
Me?
Oh.
Him.
Yes.
Him.
About a month later, she approached me at one of the family dinners and said that she regretted asking me to be a bridesmaid because she wanted me to be her photographer instead.
Oh, so she went back on that?
So
or are we still going to be...
She did a double 180. She said, photographer, just kidding, bridesmaid, no, I want you as my photographer.
Okay.
I think my feelings were hurt that she was so insistent on me being her bridesmaid, but whatever, I was happy that she still wanted me to be involved. I asked her what kind of budget she was thinking about. She looked incredibly puzzled and said, "Oh, I didn't realize I need a budget for you to do this." I let her know that while I wouldn't charge her full price, I'd still need to cover my bare minimum.
Gas, getting there, a little bit of the equipment, some time maybe? Are we putting time in there?
Pay your friends to do jobs that they do.
Yeah.
She said that this was okay and she would be fine with that. She mentioned she was hoping not to have to pay more than $500. Those are tight numbers, less than a quarter of what is typically charged in my area, but I could make it work for family. I again confirmed with her and she said she wanted me to do it no matter what. I told her I'd send her a contract just to cover my bases and she nodded happily. So I went home, pulled the contract for her, and sent it her way a month or so ago. She said she'd read it over, sign it, and return it with her deposit in a few days. Well, a few days ago, she finally wrote back. She and her fiancé decided that they did not want me to take their photos after all. I was incredibly puzzled by this, and about an hour later, Sally called and said that my mother-in-law, Amanda's mom, told Amanda after she met with me that she shouldn't have to pay me to be her photographer at all, and that I should just take photos and send them to her without doing anything else if I was so worried about costs. So Amanda was hoping that by doing this, I'd just bring my camera anyway, and she could still get her pictures. Sally apologized because she knew about this and didn't say anything. I again told her that there was no need to apologize and that all is well. My mother-in-law is a meddler. This is not news. I never know when she's going to strike. But the fact that she told Amanda these things doesn't surprise me, though it does frustrate me. But all is not well. I mean, seriously, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm to the point where my feelings are hurt. If it were just some person, it wouldn't bother me. People back out. It happens. But to be snubbed twice by my husband's sister really hurts me to my core. This is where I started realizing what kind of person she truly is. I know this is a heat of the moment emotions situation, but I no longer want to attend her wedding. I talked to my husband about it, and of course, it's his sister, and of course, I will go with him. My equipment will not be making the trek with me to her wedding no matter what. I'm also done agreeing to do things for her because I'm not having her back out on me yet again. Am I right for feeling this way? What should I do? I have yet to respond to Amanda's email saying she doesn't want me to photograph, and there is an update.
Yeah.
Honestly, I agree with what you're doing here. I think still go because it's like it's your husband's sister.
Yeah.
Because it'd be weird, but like not in the don't go in the capacity as a photographer. Don't play that at all.
Mm-mm.
I think I would be more offended by like, dude, this is like what I do professionally. I'm a professional photographer. I'm offering to give you essentially at cost the bare minimum what I can charge for an entire wedding photograph. When people have
this is art,
a skill set that you need, regardless if they're your friend or family, you should pay them.
Oh, yeah.
So the last post drew quite a bit of criticism and an equal backing of support. I was kind of surprised at how many people posted in general. I was also surprised to see how many people outside my industry were criticizing not only my posts, but those who were sympathetic to me and my industry. The point is, my photography business is my own, and I have valid reasons. I know a lot of people don't really understand all of the work behind what photographers do, and that's fine. To each their own. Anyway, I sent her a message and graciously let her know that I understand and we would be there to support her regardless. Everything was going great. She found a high school student who is new to photography and is willing to shoot for free, which is fine. That's not something I'd do personally or something Riley would do.
Not smart, no.
Okay.
It's like getting a nice complicated tattoo from an apprentice who's never done one before.
Like, thanks, I'm getting my credentials right now, and thanks.
Yeah. So hiring a amateur photographer is not something I do personally, as a wedding is not a place for someone to build their portfolio. But I'm keeping quiet and letting Amanda make her own choices. Something that has never really mattered until now also popped up. Every year on the original date of her wedding, I'd be 3 days into a 5-day shoot for a nationally televised sporting event in our area.
NFL.
I've been doing it for 5 years now and have been taking lead for 2 years now. Ooh. I regularly get consultation offers and business following. I gladly stepped down this year, and she knows of this. Even if this isn't a real wedding, it is the ceremony for his one and only sister who will do a courthouse wedding once they are able. Regardless, for family, we wouldn't miss it for the world. This was a decision I had to make last fall, and it never really mattered that much. My company obviously has already selected a photographer to go in my place, and I've already worked with that photographer on various assignments. My husband has told me from the start that I shouldn't have given it up, as there is always the possibility that I could be replaced by this other photographer. For me, though, it didn't matter, not for family. Cue late last week. She announced on Facebook that she and her fiance were moving their wedding to the middle of this summer because they felt that their original date was coming too quick and they wouldn't be ready by then.
I'm sorry. This is so wishy-washy. What kind of wedding is this where they, like, literally, I'm not going to this wedding anymore?
Yeah.
Shrimp on a stick, dude. That's why you don't do that, okay? Are we all in agreement now?
Yeah.
Don't quit your nice job. Don't get yourself replaced by another photographer so you can not go to a wedding that doesn't happen. For goodness sakes. Okay, she didn't notify anyone personally before making this post on Facebook and still has not made any formal announcements to anyone outside of Facebook. No updates are being mailed. Her stance on this issue is exactly, quote, if people really care about me, they'll look at my Facebook and see the note on my wall. 6 weeks notice on a date that has been planned on officially since last summer. A lot of family coming in from out of town had already purchased flights and hotels. Everyone had already made their concessions, including myself on my yearly gig. Vendors were already on lock, everything. My husband was incredibly upset. I've never seen him get so upset. And he made it no secret to her just how upset he was that she had already basically smacked me in the face twice and now had moved something she knew that I had made huge concessions for, that she was aware of, and that family had already booked travel arrangements, not to mention the tacky manner she did it in. They had a huge argument and basically aren't speaking. Most of the family is incredibly upset as well. And by the way, you would never be incredibly upset if you listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you gotta do is go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search OK Storytime, and there you will have our entire library. Real talk though, I'm going low contact, and I'm not doing anything for your wedding. I'm not going to your wedding. I think I'm just triggered as like someone who used to do a lot of freelance work, and like if I had a gig that happened every year and I'd done it for 5 years, and then I backed out of it just to do, not even to photograph your wedding, just to go to it, I guess at this point, and then you switch it up, I'm done with you.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, here we go. Let's finish this story. Interestingly enough, we already have obligations with my family that are equally important on the new weekend that she chose. I told my husband if he wanted to go to her wedding, he could back out and I would go by myself. He said he wouldn't be attending his sister's fake wedding. He is now saying he's almost certain she will change the date again if this wedding even actually happens. Needless to say, I'm upset, but I'm trying not to let it bother me. If I lose this annual gig to her, my husband would be incredibly upset, but it's a choice I made, and in the end, I can't blame anyone but myself for that. And that is the end of that story. And again, folks, I will say, let this be a lesson. Do not sacrifice if you're a freelancer, don't sacrifice your best gig to do this for anybody.
But guys, that was the end of that story.
I called the cops on my brother because my parents wouldn't address his actions.
Police, my mommy won't ground my brother.
Hello, police, I'd like to tattle.
It's probably a lot more serious than that. Let's find out what's going on here.
March 16th, 2025. This is a recent one. Me, 19 female, and my brother, 17 male, have never really gotten along. He's always been kind of reckless, but lately he's been getting worse. Sneaking out, lying, and now stealing. By the way, this comes from Glimmergleam56, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, a few days ago, I noticed some money missing from my room. I don't keep a ton of cash, but I had about $300 saved up for something important, and that was all gone. At first, I thought I misplaced it, but then I checked my brother's room, and guess what? Found some bills crumpled up in his drawer. I confronted him, and he straight up denied it. Even when I showed him the money, he said he found it outside. Like, bro, be serious.
I mean, technically, is that even a lie?
Outside of what? His room?
Just like I found it outside.
Found it outside?
It was outside my pocket. It was outside my. It's like,
yeah, good old white lie.
It's like if you zoom out far enough, it's like that's not even a lie.
I guess. I told my parents, expecting them to back me up, but they brushed it off like, he's just a kid. He probably needed it for something. That pissed me off, so I told my parents either he gives it back or I called the cops. They didn't take me seriously, so I actually did it.
Damn, so you were actually on point.
You
were like, 911? I'd like to tattle.
Yeah. That's an Adventure Time reference. Not get him arrested or anything, but just to scare him. The cops came, talked to him, and made him give the money back. They didn't charge him, just gave him a warning. Now my family is mad at me, saying I took it too far and should have just let my parents handle it.
They weren't gonna handle it.
Yeah, but they weren't going to do anything, and I'm tired of him getting away with stuff. So am I the a-hole for calling the cops on my own brother? And there's additional information, really quick. OP says, wild how I'm the bad guy for expecting basic respect and not wanting my money to mysteriously disappear. Guess accountability is optional in this family. So what do we think? Quick answer, am I the a-hole or not?
How much money was it?
It's $300.
Oh, not the a-hole.
The consensus was that OP is not the a-hole from all the comments. So we do have an update though, all right? So update March 17th, the very next day. So things have been awkward as heck at home. My parents are still acting like I'm the villain, and my brother has been giving me the silent treatment, which honestly isn't the worst thing in the world. But here's where it gets interesting. Turns out I wasn't the only one he was stealing from. A few days after everything went down, my mom pulled me aside and admitted that some of her money has been gone missing too. Would you look at that? Huh?
Now, when the shoe's on the other foot, it's pretty stinky, isn't it?
Yeah. She thought that she had just misplaced it, but now she's realizing it was probably him. I didn't say I told you so, even though I really wanted to, but I just gave her a look and was like, yeah, exactly. Now my parents are finally taking it seriously, but instead of being mad at him, they're talking about how he's just going through a phase and how they don't want to be too hard on him. Girl, he's 17. He's about to be an adult.
Yeah, it's like if you want to be hard on him, now's the time to do it because if you wait much longer, you know who's going to be hard on him? The state.
Yeah, he can go to jail. For real.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's still stomping around the house, acting like I ruined his life. At this point, I've just distanced myself completely. I'm keeping my door locked, not leaving anything valuable around, and honestly, counting down the days until I can move out.
Oh, brother. Okay, guys, come on. Family meeting. Family meeting needs to happen now.
Yeah. Didn't expect this to get so much attention, but I really appreciate all the comments. It helped me see that I wasn't overreacting, and honestly, it's been reassuring to know that I wasn't crazy for standing my ground. So do I feel bad? Nope. Do I regret it? Still no. If no one else is going to hold him accountable, at least now he knows I will. And there's some additional information from OP. Didn't think this would blow up like it did, but glad to know I wasn't overreacting. Keeping my guard up from now. Thank you guys. There's some comments. So one of the comments says, good for you for standing your ground. Unaddressed phases becomes way of life.
Oh,
He doesn't know it, but you're the only one actually interested in helping your brother.
Dude.
That's a good point.
The bars right there.
Yeah.
Unaddressed phases become ways of life.
Yeah.
That's like an okay fortune right there.
Yeah. I'll just skip to comment number 3. Also, people need to stop acting like teenagers are just kids, as if they simply don't know any better and can't help it.
Yeah.
The F they don't or can't. Yes, they're still technically not adults, but that doesn't mean that they can do whatever they want without consequence. They're old enough to know better. Heck, 10 is old enough to know better much of the time. I'm just so sick of enabling parents.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, what
It
age
starts
do you
young.
think it is really when you learn, like, stealing is bad? 5?
Yeah.
Like, what? Swipe or no swiping?
Yeah, exactly. And that's just the thing with parenting, like, at all. It's like, yeah, it's probably not going to be much of an issue. However, you have to still punish them for that.
I
and
think
like
I can handle it.
get them in trouble because they have to learn that they can't do that. So it's like the same thing when this man is 17. This is way like, yeah, this is not just a phase that you could just let pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's another update. So March 20th, this is 3 days later now. So things have escalated a bit since my last update. My parents finally started taking things more seriously, but not in the way I expected. Instead of actually holding my brother accountable, they're now in full-on damage control mode, acting like this whole thing is just a family issue that got blown out of proportion. A few days ago, my dad sat me down and basically told me that I need to let this go because my brother is apparently really struggling and I made things worse by involving the cops. He said that my brother feels like I betrayed him and that I should be the bigger person and try to fix things. Meanwhile, my brother? Yeah, no, he hasn't apologized, hasn't even acknowledged what he did. He's just sulking around the house acting like I ruined his life. And now he's trying to turn things on me, telling family members that I overreacted and made things way worse than they were. I have completely checked out at this point. My parents are clearly more worried about keeping the peace than actually teaching him consequences, and I'm just tired of it. I'm looking at moving out sooner than I planned because honestly, I don't feel like being in a house where my own stuff isn't safe, and I'm the bad guy for expecting basic respect. Not sure if I'll update again, but yeah, that's where things stand. Didn't think calling out theft would turn into a full family drama, but here we are. Additional information, didn't think standing up for myself would turn into a whole family crisis, but I guess expecting basic respect was too much to ask. That's kind of the same thing. But there are some comments. One of them says, they're saying to keep it in the family, right? I'm not seeing any specifications of immediate family. Maybe talk to some extended family and have them give their opinions as well. Comment number 2 says, turn it around. Ask dad, is it a bigger problem if brother learns that it's okay to steal or if he's hurt from a little valid feedback? That's a good point.
Yeah, and brother will learn it's not okay to steal when he gets inevitably arrested for it.
Exactly.
As an adult.
Exactly.
Where they don't just go, oh, we're going to give you a little warning.
Right. The comment continues, or tell dad if he feels like it's no big deal, he can give you the $300. Wake dad up. See if he likes losing $300. Not the a-hole. There's a few more comments, but yeah, basically saying the same.
Another update. Ooh.
Yeah, there is another update. Ooh. Do you have any final thoughts really quick before we jump in?
No, accountability, folks. Pass it on. I mean, like,
exactly.
If it was $20, I'd be like, you went too far. It's $300 and he's 17.
Yeah. But there is another update, March 24th, 4 days later. So I ended up having another conversation with my parents, mostly because I couldn't keep walking around the house with this giant cloud over everything. I told them again that I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life. I just want to live in a home where my stuff doesn't get touched, and I'm not made out to be the problem for setting a boundary. My mom kind of softened a bit and admitted that they might have been too quick to defend him, but she also said that they were just scared of pushing him further away. I get that, I really do, but I told her that protecting him doesn't mean ignoring the things that he's doing.
And that's a cop-out, dude, because you literally went to them and was like, hey, he stole my money, like, we need to do something about this. And they go, oh, he probably needed it for something. That's not being like, well, I didn't want to push him away. That's a complete dismissal of an issue.
Absolutely. My brother still hasn't apologized directly, but he did stop talking crap about me to the rest of the family. I think someone, maybe my aunt, told him that he was being immature and making it worse for himself. Good job. Since then, things have been quieter. Not better, just less tense. I've started looking at part-time jobs and roommate listings so I can move out sooner. I don't hate my family. I'm just tired of being treated like I'm the one who crossed the line for wanting basic trust and honesty in my open home. Anyway, I didn't think I'd post a third update, but I guess I wanted to say thank you to everyone who helped me feel like I wasn't insane. Still kind of stinks, but at least now I know I'm not alone. And who knows, if things get weirder, maybe there'll be a fourth. Another comment says, moving out sounds like the healthiest option. You deserve peace, not tension in your own home. Commenter number 2 says, OP, tell your mom that she doesn't have to worry about pushing him away because in less than 3 years, he will be in prison and won't be able to get away from them. Yeah. Tell her that they have created this monster, so don't act the victim when the spoiled, enabled, and entitled boy becomes a spoiled, enabled, entitled man. can. But when you're an adult, it isn't just boys will be boys thing. You steal, you go to jail. Tell her that this is the future they have made for their son.
Well, and
Yeah.
The other thing is, it's like, I think someone said this earlier, because it's like, well, it's like the comment of like, well, maybe he needed the money for something. It's like, yeah, I wonder what a 17-year-old would need $300 for. Probably nothing good.
Yeah,
right?
then he had to steal it. Also,
like,
too,
what is he getting with $300?
Yeah, if he needed it so bad, then wouldn't he have spent it already? It was sitting on his desk, crumpled up. You know what I mean?
Those are the times where people get into substances, they get into the drinking, they get into the whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
What's it like? If you
need money.
needed it, then why wouldn't they be like, okay, I'll give you the money. Me as your parents will give you the money if you really need it.
right. It's like, if this isn't like I want to upgrade my PC. It's like, who knows? Or maybe he's just a thief. And it's like, people develop a thing where it's like, I like taking things that aren't mine.
Exactly.
Has anyone seen Tintin?
But I mean, that last comment there was the end of the story. So
that was it?
That was it. But by the way, if you check us out on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is, to find more episodes with full stories just like this one, just go to your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Yeah.
My brother refuses to act like an adult, so I forced him to be one.
Wah, wah.
I will force you. My brothers are all pigs. We had a very traditional house where girls cleaned and washed the dishes from the time we were old enough to walk and stand on chairs. And my brothers never did anything. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Hand Shot First. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime. Now, as adults, they cannot even turn on a washer. I very much resent how I felt like I had to raise my own father and how holidays and weekends were always spent with my brothers and dads playing around while we did all the cleaning. Even at Christmas, they got to play with their toys and we went into the kitchen. I do not care about excuses like, I was never taught. We're all adults now and they can YouTube and Google what they don't know. I learned how to patch walls, change tire, change oil, etc. All the gendered stuff I was never taught, so I don't see why he can't learn as well. My brother got put out by his girlfriend after they had their first kid because he does not help with anything. Since staying with me, I have forced him to do stuff. When he first moved in, my house went from my tidy, clean utopia to a disgusting mess. He would spit sunflower seeds on the floor. He hid his food in dirty laundries around the house. He would spit chewed gum behind the coffee machine, feet from the trash can, hide snack food everywhere, smoke on the toilet, put cigs out on my floor, which is a slap in the face as I asked him to not smoke inside because I don't smoke. Period. He would leave his dirty clothes everywhere, even on the living room floor, etc. Even when he ordered food for himself, he would eat at the table, then leave it for me to put away for him. Anytime he took anything out of the fridge, he would leave it on the table and often leave the fridge open. I am not joking. I found maggots 3 times from his mess. I lost it, and I told him to change his behavior completely or to get out. Well, he started doing stuff, but as badly as he could. He would put bowls in the dishwasher so they would be filled with nasty water. Mop with the same water for days on end, leaving it smelling of rot. Do his laundry by putting it in the washer, leaving it for me to finish, and putting food away by throwing it all over the fridge, spilling food everywhere. The best was when he put syrup away upside down on the top shelf with no lid on, coating my entire fridge in syrup that took hours to clean. Then he would say, I am trying, you are just being a bee. I lost my temper and I know I couldn't leave him on the street, so I divided the house. The cabinet doors all have locks from the previous owners, so I got him dishes from Goodwill and forbade him from using any of my dishes. He is eating off of his filthy dishes now. I made it very clear that anything left on the floors, clothing, etc. gets a 1-day grace period, and then it will be thrown away. The same goes for the few dishes he has, as he would leave them in the sink until they started to grow mold. I started locking my bathroom door, and he has to use the one in the basement, which I refuse to clean. If his clothes are in the washer for more than 8 hours and I need to use it, I dump them wet on his bed. Any trash he leaves lying around goes on his bed. If he orders food and gets up and he leaves his leftovers, I leave them to rot and then throw them away. Though twice the idiot left food out overnight and came out and started angrily eating it while glaring at me. Both times the idiot got food sickness.
Shocked. Wow. Color me shocked.
Dude. Oh, I'm so mad at you. You didn't take my to-go box and put it in the fridge for me. Okay, I do be sometimes leaving those out. But still, okay. So he destroyed my fridge again, putting juice upside down with the lid barely on. I mopped it up with towels, dumped the towels and all my ruined food on his bed. Then put a lock on the fridge. He hates me and says I'm terrorizing him. I say I was forced to mother him as a child, but was never given the parental control to actually teach him how life works. Since my brothers used my childhood to treat me like I was a maid, I will no longer parent them. My view is some lessons have to be learned painfully. I will not gentle parent a grown man who cannot close a fridge door. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments. Ages, whose house is it? Why haven't you punted him out already? OP, it was just downvoted for some reason, says, I am 30. He is 33. This is my house. I guess my family is family. Just got beat into my head a lot. Another commenter said, suggestion, put a time limit on his time with you. Either he starts actually working towards a solution and away from weaponized incompetence that he's engaged with the juice and syrup, or he gets moved out. Is he paying for rent or food, utilities? I assume that you'd be fine without any of his additions towards these because you seemed okay before you invited him to disturb your peace. OP says he isn't paying anything because he lost his job during the vid and he says that he cannot find work. I was letting that go because I was making really good money and didn't need any of it from him, but he needs to contribute something and he is not. I think I will figure out a timeline and tell him that he has to do better or go. I am sure he can find some other woman to raise him. That is his usual move when his girlfriend puts him out. Why she puts up with it, I don't know, but I can't say anything because I do too. And there is an update literally later that day. I could not believe my eyes when I opened up Reddit and saw the number of notifications. Wow. So just to update everyone, things came to a head today. I had to work the early shift and had a session with my table tonight at 6. I was DMing a few DMD gamers. I begged my brother to keep the living room clean. I came home and the house was more trashed. I mean, it looked like a bomb went off. He even dropped a cup of milk on the floor and left it.
Oh, that's like the most rancid smell ever.
He left it.
Left milk is...
So I flung the whole milk jug at his head and screamed at him to GTFO. He tried to bulk up on me and I lost it screaming, get out, over and over and over. I cleaned up the milk, then jumped online to message everyone to cancel and saw these 700 plus notifications. Y'all gave me some really good advice and I knew reading those replies last night that this was over. I was going to give him a few weeks, but seeing that milk all across my new floor was the last straw. I don't know where he's going. I don't care. Thank you all. I love Reddit people. End of update. Quick gut check. Do we agree?
Should we throw milk at people? No. Even when we're mad, even when we're crying over said milk that is spilt. But there is a breaking point for every man, woman, and child. Yes. And I think this milk spiller definitely pushed OP past the breaking point. We've had this a couple times this stream. I think justified a-hole. Like you're pushed. And also like it is a completely reasonable thing to want someone out of your place.
Yeah, I think specifically on kicking him out like that day, I think like, she offered her home, didn't have to. He terrorized her in her own home with his messiness. And it's like, once you do something like that, your repercussions have actions. Hey, if you want to literally destroy my house, you've destroyed your chances of staying here. Commenter says, really, why are you doing this? I absolutely do not have sympathy for you. You really can't be that dumb. Opie says, joke's on you. I really can be. Lol. No, I think growing up how I did, my family was just pushed into my head, and all the old ladies used to say that men couldn't help it. In my church, if you yelled at a man for any of this, you would be viewed as insane. Regardless, check my update. He is gone. Now, commenter says, it seems like he actively hates her, right? It's the syrup in the fridge that would have sent me over the edge. What a pain in the butt to clean. Opie said it was horrific to clean because I was gone for 3 days and by the time I got back, it was like molasses. I ended up having to shove all of the fridge drawers in my bathtub and scrub them all. I was bawling. I was so upset. Commenter responds, I would be willing to bet so much money that he listens to Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan and thinks that men and women should stick to strict gender roles, which men are always conveniently exempt from holding up their part of. Your brother is a piece of crap. Opie says he adores Ben Shapiro and Tate, but thinks that Joe Rogan is a little bee that needs to pick a side. He's also super into Nick Fuentes too, however you say his name. His favorite one is the guy that got in trouble for screaming at his pregnant wife. I can't remember his name. That's his favorute?
Is it Charlie Kirk?
Oh.
I feel like I remember hearing that.
Yeah. It's a Fox News guy.
Or
It's a Fox News
is
guy.
it Fox News? Or maybe
I know
is it Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
Is it Tucker Carlson?
I think it's Tucker Carlson. Another commenter said she was conditioned as a young child to accept crappy behavior from men. Even putting in this boundary is likely a big step for her. Of course, I hope she takes from this thread that he's abhorrent and she doesn't need to accept this behavior, though I get why she thinks that she can't just punch him out, even though she can and she should. Opie says this is 100% it. In my church, if you complain about men not cleaning, people would think you're insane. I posted this 10,000% thinking that I would get roasted for being a bee. Lol. And the commenter responds, I'm so sorry. Honestly, that sounds like a really toxic culture. I would try to find a more left-leaning church, but I understand that might not be possible in your area. Opie says I left the church in the area. I'm way lived up now, lol. And when he called me needing a place to go, I think I regressed a lot. But we have another update. 4 days later. Hello, everyone. I considered leaving the situation with my brother at the original post, but this post is blown up. It's being covered outside Reddit, so I figured I should tell you guys what has happened. To start, I know a lot of people seemed incredibly perplexed I even allow this. To this, all I can really reply is that I grew up in a very toxic environment. They are Mormons and not the modern kind. When I was a kid, I was not allowed to wear pants. My childhood, if you asked a man to clean, you would be looked at like you were insane. And if you got mad at a man being messy, it would even be implied that you could possibly be corrupted spiritually for attacking the original design. Obviously, after I left the church, I understood that things are different, but I'm not as healed as I thought. I obviously need a lot more therapy. I also got a few posts asking why I didn't include that I am autistic in my post. This is because it's just not relevant here. The actual update, my brother is missing in action. For anyone who missed it, the day after the post, I came home to a trash house. A glass of milk spilled all over the floor that had obviously been there for a while. I lost it on him, lugged the milk jug at his head, thankfully missing, and screamed at him over and over to get out. He tried to square up to me, but I screamed so loud it was hard to talk the next day. I think he got the hint then. Almost ripped my door in two. Doing it, I had to replace the hinge. I knew some people wanted me to sue him, but during this whole situation, I was confronted with a health scare, just some weird looking moles, but I was still worried. So I did not want to deal with that. He left, get this, and went to the house of his 19-year-old girlfriend. Apparently, he met this girl when she went to the bar for her 18th birthday. I had no idea this was going on, but all of my brothers did. To recap, he had a baby with his girlfriend of 8 years this month. And the editor's note, this girlfriend of 8 years is different than the 19-year-old girlfriend currently. I told them all to F off when my mom messaged me crying because no one knows where your brother is. He just left with some girl. I told her I do not care. I did. Call me crazy. Messaged the girl to tell her he is bad news, but she called me a crazy punt and blocked me. I also messaged the girl's mom, who seems worried, but basically said she cannot do anything because her daughter is of legal age. I guess they took off and skipped town and will not tell anyone where they are. Outside of worry for this girl, I don't really care. I am too busy chilling with my ex and my wonderful niece. I am going to take care of my health and focus on my life. So this next update is 8 days later. To catch you up, my brother's a pig. He destroyed my home. This led to me figure out my whole family kind of stinks, and he ended up leaving with his barely legal girlfriend, leaving his newborn baby and his ex, whom he was cheating on. He was cheating on him. Okay, there you go. Well, after all of this, I have not talked to anyone in my family at all, but kept in contact with his ex and have been spending a lot of time with the baby. I never liked his ex. She was with him for a reason. I think the only reason they lasted for years instead of my brother's usual couple of weeks or months before the girl runs screaming is because she is, in a lot of ways, like him.
Two peas in a pod.
There it is.
Two cloths cut from the same larger cloth.
And they spilled that cup and it's all over the floor and he's not going to clean it.
Ooh.
Now, even knowing all that, I kept in contact like a dummy because I felt so awful over the kid being left, the baby. I secretly think they're doomed because of their goofy parents. I know how horrible it is to think that. I wanted to be a positive force in the new baby's life. Well, my brother found out somehow that I've been around the kid and somehow got my new number, which totally perplexes me because no one in my family has it. He called me and cried that he doesn't want me around the kid because I will never do to this child what I did to him. And that left me confused because When he left, he declared his ex must have cheated and the child wasn't his. They clearly are. So why is he saying his child? And I have never done anything to him. I was made to be his mom, which is crazy also because he's older, but never even given the authority to correct him. So I spent my life chasing after him, cleaning up his mistakes, whilst he tormented me and treated me so horribly. I ended up literally medically diagnosed with PTSD. I asked him what I did to him, and he said I always judged him, and even when he was a kid, I looked at him with judgment.
But you're so judgeable.
Yeah, why you have so many judgeable? You allege to store juice and syrup upside down without a cap.
That should be judged. You know,
what are we supposed to do with that?
We're supposed to judge. That's what we're supposed to do.
We say, hey,
don't do that.
Don't do that because you're
Are you a silly
syrup.
Billy? I don't want to use language like that, but
yeah, that's a little bit much, Sam. Honestly, that's
yeah, you know,
crazy.
but you're really pushing me to my edge. You're cutting me to my quick. You're gooning me like no other.
So I hung up on him right there because, lol, I judged him. No, duh. I could fill books and books with all the bad choices he has made and all of the horrible things that he's also done to others. From the time he could talk, it seemed like all he cared about was hurting others and offending others, and he has never been actually punished for anything. I was the only one who judged him, and after his actions, he rightfully should be in jail. If the worst thing he suffered was his judgment, I mean, lol. I have suffered way worse, often at the hands or because of his choices. Cold truth is, if it wasn't for my judgment and care, he would be gone from an OD about 1 billion times
Yeah,
over.
dude, the judgment kept him on the straight and narrow.
Come on.
You're welcome. I saved your life.
Saved you.
I think you owe me. You owe me a life debt.
Dude, he was
You are mine.
Come on. He would have called the wrong person a slur and found out the hard way. The only thing that kept him alive was me trailing after him, fixing mess after mess. He's more tightly wound than someone's hoodie.
Honestly,
I don't even know.
This man needs to be tied up. He needs to be put in a straitjacket.
And you know what? OP needs to get untangled from the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that for a second.
It's too much. It's too much. There needs to be boundaries.
But he apparently talked to his ex, and she has blocked me and told me that I'm never allowed to mess up their child like I messed up him. I do not need anyone to tell me she is appealing to my brother to try and win him back, and that this is two deeply broken, messed up people blaming their shortcomings on me because it's easier than looking in a mirror. I know. By the way, if you've looked into a mirror today and said, hey, I'm slumped over. I have a hoodie wrapped around me so
Maybe
tightly.
You're cozy.
I'm too cozy even, but I need content to keep me going. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, search OK Storytime, 2,000 podcast episodes. Don't know what else to tell you.
John, how many episodes is that?
That is more episodes than hair on your pretty little head.
I hope not.
Anyways, Opie says, I felt something snap in me, and it was like all my care, anxiety, and worry drained out of my body. I don't care about this anymore. I don't care about this anymore, or any of them. I changed my number again, limited my contact list even more, and when I can, I am moving. I will not be providing any more updates on him or my family because I do not care about these people anymore. I do not plan to have contact again. Thank you for all the help. And there were some comments. Did X give brother OP's number? She actually didn't have my number. I figured she would give him my number. Whenever I changed it, I told her I lost my phone and couldn't replace it immediately. I take an iPad to school, so she was just calling me on my Facebook Messenger. So everyone keeps saying that she was the one to give my number. She didn't have it.
And that is all that was written.
That was all that was written, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Family, man, you can't live with them.
And that's it. You just can't live with them.
Yeah, I can't live with them.
How you doing over there, Sam?
There's a time in every man's life. The world just beats him down and then beats him off.
Oh, God.
And I'm right between those two.
Oh, God, he's giving options. This is premium service.
My brother-in-law wants to invite his ex to my wedding. They both have new partners.
So that sounds normal.
My fiance and I have been together for 10 years, and we finally decided to get married. I initially didn't care for a big wedding, so we settled for a small private ceremony, which was great. After our ceremony last year, my now husband told me that because he has a big family, it was important for him to have a large wedding reception. By the way, this comes from Tradition 3496, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I agreed with him, and we began planning our reception, which is coming this May 2025. It's so soon. I wanted to see him happy, and he seemed very excited about it. We received some money from both our families, and we are able to afford a larger wedding than we initially thought. We made our guest list and sent out our invitations and saved the dates. We both assumed that my husband's middle brother, who would be present after he returned from his 6-month long trip to their hometown. I heard that his brother, my brother-in-law, had found a new girl back in his country of birth, even though he is currently married here in the States. I was really happy for him because I know the story. I lived through it between his wife and him. To make things short, she took advantage of him by faking a pregnancy and forcing him to marry her for citizenship. Okay, that makes a little more sense. He didn't want to get married, but his family told him that he needed to be responsible for their child. After their rushed and hushed wedding ceremony, my brother-in-law left for his 6-month vacation again to his country of birth or hometown. She decided not to go with him because she was working with a lawyer to get her citizenship and didn't want a trip to ruin her chances. She was going to wait for him. However, she was getting unexpected visitors after he left. Later, we found out that she had found another man, and when my mother-in-law confronted her about it, she called her husband and told him that it wasn't true. My brother-in-law called his mom and yelled at her to not get involved in his marriage. A few weeks later, she moved away, literally disappeared. And when my mother-in-law asked about her, she was told that she was living with another man and had left her husband, but not even gotten divorced because she still wanted her citizenship from him. We also found out that she had lost the baby around that time. And it's in quotes. It wasn't just me, so maybe it was a fake. Maybe a fake.
Fingers crossed for fake. Fingers crossed for fake, because that was in quotes.
Yeah. My brother-in-law's story happened around 2 years ago. She is still living with that other man, and my brother-in-law has found a new girl back in his country, but they are still married. Anyways, I respect whatever his decision was because it's his life and he does what he pleases with it. A few days ago, my husband told me that his brother, my brother-in-law, was going to bring his +1 to our wedding. I thought he couldn't bring his new girl because she's outside of the country, but I never thought that he would bring his actual wife. My husband told me that he invited her and she said yes, which I absolutely do not want her being at my wedding. Bear with me, I have my reasons. Reason number 1, my mother-in-law cried to me for advice to her son, to help her son get out of the deep depression that he went into after his wife left him for another man. I couldn't do much because he left back to his hometown soon after that conversation, but it broke my heart to see her suffer like that for her son. Reason number 2, when my husband and I were dating, my brother-in-law's wife would knock on my husband's bedroom door to give him his favorite candy or tell him that she made him his favorite dish. I didn't like that, but I said it's all right as long as I'm there too. I don't want to be a crazy witch. Reason number 3, in her search for a sponsor for her citizenship paperwork, she asked my husband to sponsor her, not even asking me about it, which I absolutely said no to. My husband saw nothing wrong with that request, but I knew her intentions were not good with my brother-in-law or anyone in this family. I knew that she only wanted my brother-in-law for papers. Reason number 4. She has a man already and she is happy with him. My brother-in-law has his girl too and seems to be happy with her. So what the F is she doing there anymore? If they were getting back together and trying to fix their marriage, I would be the first one to invite her to my wedding in support of my brother-in-law. But they are not getting back together. Reason number 5, I don't like her energy. She can come any other time on my birthday, on Christmas, on any other party, but not my wedding day. I'm afraid everyone will ask my brother-in-law about her because no one else knows about their marriage, and I'm sure I can almost predict that there will be a huge drama because of her presence there, which I do not want on my wedding day. I talked to my husband about it. He says that she is my brother-in-law's wife after all, and he can bring his +1. It breaks my heart that none of them think of my mother-in-law's feelings and pain or my wishes. I don't know if this matters, but she's absolutely gorgeous, which I think is why my brother-in-law wants to bring her that day to show her off to everyone in that family. I'm also upset at my brother-in-law for not respecting his new relationship and stepping away completely or getting a divorce. I don't even think that he has told his new girl that he's married, and I'm sure that she won't be happy if she finds out that he is not only married, but continues to see his wife and will bring her to a very special day of his brother. I talked to my brother-in-law and told him that if he brings her on my wedding day, he is banned from attending our wedding. If he decides to show up with her anyway, I will leave the party. As the bride? Dude.
Walking out of your own wedding is such a power move.
That's crazy. I'm asking for the same respect that I have shown them. I've never stepped on them when they decided to get married or intervened in any of their decisions as a couple. I feel that my wishes for my wedding should be respected as well. So am I the a-hole? And we do have an update, but what's your answer?
No, you're not the a-hole.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you don't
it's
want
your
someone else's
wedding, and you're like, I know this is going to be bad. Why are we doing this?
Sure, you can have a +1, just like not that one.
Anyone else on earth besides the one person that's going to take all the attention away. And I bet you there will be some drama because there's no way there's not going to be. This is weird.
But we do have an update. So first of all, thank you all for your amazing advice and perspective. You're right. I definitely have to consider my hubby's say on this matter. To be fair, he and I have been on the same page when it comes to who we are inviting to our wedding and avoiding drama people, even if that is a family member close to either of us. For example, I told him to invite his karate buddy, who I think is a weird guy, but very sweet and nice. I like his vibe. He invited him, but when he didn't seem to care for the wedding at all, my hubby decided to uninvite him. I supported him on that. It's his friend. It's his wedding too, and I want him to feel comfortable. On another occasion, one of his cousins made a comment about being happy if we cancel the wedding because it seems like hubby is doing it for the show and I'm doing it for love, and he can tell that we are not going to have a good time. So the cousin supported that we cancel it. When my hubby found out about his comment, he got so upset that he decided to uninvite him.
As you
Makes sense.
you should when people are saying that.
Again, I told him I supported him in his decision. If that's what he wanted, it's our wedding, and the happiness of both of us matters more than anything else. He and I also agreed on not inviting friends of mine who might get really wasted and cause drama that day. Like I said, we have been on the same page so far. When it comes to brother-in-law's wife, I know my hubby likes her a lot. She is a sweet girl to him, and to be honest, she had not done anything to me either. But I feel so personally attacked by the way that she broke my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law cried a lot. He locked up in his room and wouldn't eat, go out, or do anything else but try to come to terms with what she did to him. I saw him suffer too, and I think that I'm taking it too personally. It's hard to see someone we care about get hurt, and maybe that's my biggest reason why I cannot stand her anymore. And we do have another big update. What's going on?
Oof. So really it's reading now like brother-in-law is just a sweetie pie.
Yeah.
And is being manipulated by this woman to get papers and stuff, which would make sense why it was like, well, we came to the agreement that it would make sense to stay married for her immigration process. It's like...
Right. But anyway, on to the update. Hubby talked to brother-in-law about not bringing his wife. Brother-in-law told him to tell me to take it easy. Your wedding doesn't have to be perfect.
I like that perspective, not in like a take it easy way, but in just like a, hey, you got to be ready. It's not going to be a perfect day.
Dude.
Realistically, something's going to end up going wrong and we have to like move through that.
Not exactly sure what he meant to say by that. Hubby talking to brother-in-law caused brother-in-law to ask his wife to contact me and ask me herself. I received a message today from the wife. FYI, she had blocked me when she moved away with her new guy and we lost contact. She said, "Hi, I hope you're doing well. I just found out through brother-in-law that you two are getting married. Congratulations. Brother-in-law has been pushing me to attend your wedding. I am really excited for your wedding and I will be there to celebrate it. Thank you." I replied, "Hi, sister-in-law. I hope you are doing well too, and thank you for reaching out. I really don't want you to attend my wedding." Just right off the gate.
Yeah.
Be super honest.
Let's go. I like this. I like that.
I have nothing against you, and I respect your decision and the way that you handled the breakup. Although I do not agree with it, you do you. However, hubby and I have been avoiding drama people on our wedding day, and I believe that since brother-in-law and you are no longer together, he has a new relationship and you do too, there is going to be drama due to your presence. I really want my wedding day to be a happy celebration of our love and not get spoiled by drama of any kind. You are welcome any other day, but please not on my wedding. I hope you understand and respect my decision. Very honest, very upfront. It's hard because that can be seen as rude, but if she's already no contact with her.
Yeah, it's more just like being straight up. It's like maybe it's cold water, but it's like it'd be more rude to like invite her to the wedding and then like just try to like keep her on the outside of it the whole time. You just be like honest, like I actually don't want you to come.
Right. Thank you for being honest with me. I completely understand and I respect that. It's your wedding day and you decide who goes there. I don't want to cause any problems. I just wanted to be respectful and reach out to you first. I know things haven't been easy between you and me, but I hope someday we can make peace and move on. I wish you guys the best. Took it amazingly well. That was, I was not expecting it to be taken that well. I replied, thank you for understanding and thank you again for reaching out. I wish you well too. Take care. Well, I was happy that she understood and agreed with me. However, brother-in-law insists that she is his wife and he has a +1. And since he is the brother of the groom, he needs to be there and not be denied attendance. Hubby got upset about it and told him that it's our day and we decide what we want for it. We don't want drama, period. They got into a heated argument about it, and now I feel responsible because he banned his own brother from going to the wedding. And by the way, we will never ban you from going to iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and searching OK Storytime. Because you know what you're going to find there?
Full episodes with stories just like this.
Oh, yeah. But there is a little bit more. So, hubby's words to brother-in-law. You cannot just come in out of nowhere and demand that your happiness gets priority in our wedding. Bride and I decide to not have drama that day, so unless you two are getting back together for good, she is not welcome. And if you insist on bringing her even against our will, you don't have to go. Stay home. We did it all without your help and your presence, and we will be just fine without you.
Okay, that seems a little harsh, but I mean, message received,
Message
hopefully.
received. Yeah, the last part, we did it all without your help, is pretty,
Yeah, it's more like
a little harsh there. OP just finishes it out by saying, I feel like crap, and now I feel like the a-hole. But I don't think you're the a-hole. I mean, obviously the wife took it super well. That's really the only person that should be, like, just offended by her not being invited.
If anyone's going to be offended.
Yeah, like this brother-in-law should not be. So, I don't know. Very weird situation.
Strange situation.
But I don't think OP is a-hole. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
You did that perfectly, I think.
Yeah.
I think you dealt with that perfectly.
Absolutely. My sister-in-law's family trashed our house and they won't leave. Well, get out of here, don't you know? You can't leave trash everywhere.
My wife and I are empty nesters living in a good-sized 4-bedroom house. Our daughters are in their late 20s and moved out years ago. We talked about downsizing, but never seriously did anything about it. By the way, this comes from Farmer John too, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, early this summer, my brother-in-law was fired from his fairly good-paying job and was denied unemployment from his employer for some type of unethical actions. I don't really know what he did, just that he and a couple of others did something shady. Their credit is terrible, a bankruptcy in the past, and they really never lived within their means. They have 2 boys, 8 and 13, and 2 good-sized dogs, so their little house was very cramped. They wanted a larger house but couldn't get a loan and had no money for a down payment. Somehow, they convinced his parents to allow them to build a larger related living style house around the parents' small ranch house, and he's been building it for the past year or 2, as time and money allow. Now they have a half-finished, huge house they can't move into and have to put their current small home up for sale to finance finishing the construction on the new place. To make matters worse, their current house is actually owned by my wife's brother, who bought the house from them so they would not lose it when they went bankrupt. They have been paying him the mortgage and promised to let them have any profit from the sale. I feel like if you just went bankrupt and like you don't have a good job anymore, maybe you don't start building a huge house. My wife asked me back in June if they could move in with us until the house was completed so they could fix up their current tiny house for sale. I balked at first since we already have 1 large dog and didn't like the idea of having 3 dogs, 2 kids, and 4 adults living in my house for an undetermined amount of time. That is crowded.
Yeah.
My wife talked me into letting them move in since we have 3 empty bedrooms, and we've regretted it ever since. It started off not too badly, but now it's been 4 months and my brother-in-law is no closer to getting a new job and is only interested in finding another management job, even though I'm sure his previous employer is bad-mouthing him. He currently does side jobs for another of my wife's brothers who does construction demos, siding jobs, etc. My sister-in-law works part-time as a doctor's office receptionist and makes probably just above minimum wage. All her money goes towards food and gas for their cars. We don't charge them any rent, hoping they can put the money towards finishing the new house construction. The crap hit the fan, so to speak, when they would not pick up their dog's crap from our backyard so I could mow the lawn. I offered to pay my 13-year-old nephew $20 a week to mow the lawn, but he didn't want to do this because it would interrupt his video game playing. When I saw my wife picking up the dog crap while her sister was getting ready to leave the house, I exploded. I told her that if she couldn't pick up after her dogs, then the dogs would have to be sent somewhere else. She got upset and replied that she had no place else to send the dogs. That's not the point. Just pick up after them.
Yeah, that's a very easy fix.
That's a crazy response to someone being like, if you can't pick up after your dogs, we're going to have to send them away. And she's like, I don't have anywhere to send them.
Yeah.
The answer is, okay, I'll pick up after my dog.
Exactly. Like, you know what you got to do then.
One of the dogs is black, and the house now not only smells like a kennel, but there is black dog hair all over the floors that she won't vacuum up unless my wife tells her to. My sister-in-law and her husband then decided to take his mother's offer of a loan against her retirement money to help finance finishing the house so she wouldn't have to live with us mean people. Now, 4 months later, they're still here. She no longer really talks to me in the house, comes home from work, and goes straight upstairs to her bedroom to watch television. I guess I'm the bad guy. Her 8-year-old son is left with my wife and me when they come home, while his mother is upstairs in her room. Our family room now has toys scattered all around and has 2 bins of Legos and action figures for his amusement. His mother doesn't clean up after him and doesn't tell him to clean up after himself and leaves the job of putting him to bed at night to her unemployed husband. I mean, really quick, like the fact that the unemployed husband is not, doing a bunch of housework to make up for living in this house for free.
Yeah.
And not contributing at all financially.
Yeah.
Like he should be taking care of his kid. He should be picking up the dog poop. He should be helping around the house. What are you doing, dude?
Great question. I want to know.
I'm a big fan of HBO original TV series, which of course are not fit for kids to watch. My nephew also doesn't really have a bedtime either, and I have to tell him to leave the family room sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. so I can finally get around to watching some adult content before going to bed. I honestly don't think they realize what a crap storm they leave in their path, but just expect everybody to help them out. She's the baby of the family, and my wife said she has always been this way. I guess what I'm looking for is some outside perspective. How do I get rid of them? Am I being too hard on them? This is affecting my relationship with my wife because she feels like she's the only person in the house taking care of the place while I'm at work. Any suggestions? Help. And there is an update, but do you have any thoughts or suggestions?
Maybe we need to have a family meeting because it's not just them.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've talked about how it's the dad too.
I think you were right with like have a conversation, have that family meeting and say, these are the rules. We need you out by this date.
Yeah.
We need to see you actually, trying to get a job. I don't care where you get a job.
Yeah.
Just get something.
Yeah, because it's also, again, like I want it to be a family meeting because apparently too this husband isn't really stepping up and doing enough either.
Nothing.
So I think everyone needs to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And boundaries need to be put in place and everyone needs to be there to hear it.
Yep.
Get a secretary, someone can write the stuff down.
Yeah, I think you and maybe you have another meeting with just the parents and you say, hey, your son, someone needs to pick up the poop and either I'll pay your son $20 or I'll pay him nothing and he still has to do it.
Yeah.
So like get him on the same page.
Yeah.
But let's get into the update. Well, it all finally came to a head about a week after my previous post. On Saturday, when I went to mow our lawn, my wife asked my sister-in-law to pick up the dog poop. Sister-in-law texted my wife back and stated that she picked up about half a grocery size bag and told my wife that she should get the rest. Girl, it's your dogs. She's like, I picked up 2 pieces. Why do I have to do the whole thing?
Also, if it's really like half a grocery
That's
size
like not
bag
that
full,
much.
well, I'm thinking that's a lot.
I mean, if it's building up, it seems like it's probably building up because she's not doing it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. So it's just like, girl, you can't be doing that. Fill it up, man. Fill it up.
My wife phoned my brother-in-law and explained that we had enough. It was getting too hard to have 3 dogs in the house and to make plans to move the dogs elsewhere. We were on our way to meet my daughter and son-in-law at a restaurant about an hour from home. They had just announced they were expecting their first child, our first grandchild.
Oh,
wow. Exciting.
Okay.
5 minutes later, my sister-in-law calls my wife back asking what the problem was, etc. And they get into an argument about what was going wrong. It ends with my sister-in-law telling my wife that if that was the way we're going to be, she was moving her family out of the house as well. Oh no.
No, don't.
No, that's not what we wanted.
Stop.
That's not exactly what we wanted.
Right. Come back, please.
She then texted my wife that living in our house, she came to believe that she didn't like the way I treated my wife. And she noticed it, but that my wife was too blind to my treatment of her. Now this upset me even more. I was through with my sister-in-law. When we got home from our dinner out, the dogs were gone, and so were they. My wife was upset, but we were both relieved they were gone. Finally, some peace and quiet in the house. They ended up taking their 2 dogs to my brother-in-law's parents' house, where they were constructing their new home. Now, my brother-in-law lives at his parents' house with the dogs and the oldest teenage son. My sister-in-law at first moved into her parents' 2-bedroom townhouse with her youngest son and traveled between the 2 locations. So now they have spread their inconvenience to both their elderly parents and their kids just because my sister-in-law was too proud and lazy to pick up after herself and her dogs while in my house. My wife asked her why this was better than just keeping the dogs at one of the other houses while keeping her family together at our house and not spread their troubles to 2 other households, but she didn't have an answer. I think it's just pride. I think she's just like, you can't tell me what to do.
For sure. For sure.
Now, in the meantime, they have finally sold their old house, and my brother-in-law has finally got a full-time regular job. Most of their junk is still in our house. My wife moved most of it to 1 bedroom, and they are in no hurry to move their things out yet. Construction on their new place is still going on. No idea when it will be completed yet. Thanksgiving dinner at my mother-in-law's house was very uncomfortable with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law there with their kids and both sets of parents. I have nothing to do with my sister-in-law now, nor do I want to, since she stuck her nose in my relationship with my wife with her comments to my wife about me. By the way, I've got some comments for you.
What is that, Sophia?
And one is that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Trash took itself out.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, we're out of here. It's like, oh great.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's the thing with these boundaries, right? It's like you talk about them. They either follow them or they don't.
Yeah, it's not even like you guys were kicking them out. You didn't just say, get out of the house. You said, pick up the poop or leave. And they chose to leave instead of picking up the poop. Like, come on.
So, whatever. At least you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, you got your house back to yourself and they can go live wherever they're living. My wife's parents are trying to stay above it and not pick sides, but it's wearing on them. My wife and her sister do still talk to each other now, but the relationship is now very cool. It was tough, but at least we have our house back, and we're now trying to get it back into shape after our visitors left. I'm very happy, but I know my wife is still hurt and things are uncomfortable with her family. And that is the end of the story.
All right. Wow. You're dealing with it as much as you can, honestly. Yeah. With people like that, like you can't control them.
No, they're just going to do whatever they want.
Yeah. So you
just have to set your own boundaries.
Exactly.
And follow through on them, which you did. So good on you.
Oh, yeah.
My sister is already pushing my limits. Now she wants to bring her children.
Stop pushing my buttons.
Do not push it to the limit. So, my sister lives in a house literally next door to our parents, and I live in a large city about 45 minutes away from their suburbs.
Ooh.
My sister has 2 kids, 8 female, 5 male, and was a military wife, but was widowed. He got in a car accident. Didn't happen when he was in action. She has gone back to school and gotten a degree in IT and is very good with computers, tech, and math, so that makes sense. By the way, this comes from user, my sister makes me crazy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and submit them there. Now, unfortunately, there aren't really jobs where she is anymore. Not many, so she is having to look in the big city where I am. Well, she got a job, but she doesn't want to move her kids out until the end of the school year to make sure the job works out and also make it smoother for them. So she devised a plan to stay with me during the week in the city and let our parents watch the kids during the week. My parents are thrilled. Being grandparents is their favorite thing ever, and they love taking care of the kids. And I'm perfectly okay with it, except my sister is the worst housed guest ever. Here are some issues. My husband and I are child-free, and I'm the older sister. So it's clear we're not having kids. We also made it clear when this agreement was made that we didn't want her kids staying overnight in our home. They never have, and it's not a home for kids. Instead, what? Not a home
how is
for
it
kids.
not a home for kids?
Do they just leave sharp objects everywhere? And it's like the outlets.
Like, it's not a home for kids. You can't have your kids over.
The outlets have tiny neon signs over them that says,
We
put
all of our forks next to the outlets.
We leave them inside
and all
the
of
outlets.
our corners, we sharpen them every day.
We take a little angle grinder and we sharpen up the corners of every surface in our house.
There's also a bunch of holes that you can fall into at a moment's notice.
We've got a guy just welding stuff in the middle of the living room.
Also, Pennywise is in our sewers, so it's just not safe for kids.
It's just not a home for kids.
Yeah.
There's a river of lava upstairs. We don't talk about it. The contractor said it's not fixable.
The HOA said we couldn't take it out. Okay? We tried.
Okay, instead of keeping the normal routine for her winter break, since she still had to work one of the 2 weeks the kids were off, she tried to bring her kids here for a full week. She just arrived with the kids, so they had to stay the night, and she threw a fit when we told her this could not stand for the week. She bad-talked us to my parents and her kids over it, which is whack, and complained endlessly about how heartless we were to keep her away from her kids. She also, previously to this, had her daughter over several times when her daughter was sick. And one time, since it was a day my husband had off, she even wanted to go to work and have him watch her while she was home sick. He refused and went out for the day, but that was ridiculous. She also asked me to stay home with the kids since she was new at her job, but I'm not sure why my niece needed to be dragged into the city sick. Why not just leave her with my parents? They're still relatively young, spry, and have no issues taking care of them. So why would a time when the child is sick be appropriate to bring her to our place? Another weekend with approval, when the kids had a Monday off and so did I, she had the kids stay Saturday and Sunday night, and I took them to the zoo for the day on Monday while my sister was at work. We don't hate her kids. We just feel she uses them to cross boundaries.
I mean, absolutely. If you're saying, hey, we can't take care of the kids, and she just drops them off, yeah, she's crossing boundaries.
Yes, exactly.
You got one of those salt boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and she's crossing it.
And look,
it's not child friendly.
Is this a case of OP, like maybe just like not liking the kids? I don't know. It sounds like it's like when they were okay with the timeline, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't like the kids. However, even if that was the case,
fine. It's fine.
That's the case.
Yeah.
Then.
It is not OP's responsibility to take care of these kids.
Mm-hmm. And then it's also just doubly good to be like, hey, you don't want me looking after your kids. I won't like them.
Yeah.
And they won't like, no one's going to have a good time.
A very fair excuse to give anyone who says, hey, can you babysit my kids? No, sorry.
No.
Why
can't you? I won't treat them very well. Because I don't like children. And they will annoy me quickly, and I will be hostile. And it's like, okay, well, if you know that about yourself, don't watch kids.
Don't watch kids.
Maybe don't have them either.
Yeah, probably not.
And that sounds like that's what the plan is.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back into the story. She's also really messy.
The baby?
Well, I was assuming the sister, but I bet you the 8 and 5-year-olds are also not the tidiest.
Always making a mess.
She is really messy. I mean, her own house was always beautiful, so I don't get it. But she has literally not bothered to wash a single dish that she's used, start the dishwasher, and she throws her laundry in with mine, even though my husband and I don't even have common laundry. Finally, I bought her a laundry bin of her own, and she started using it, but she's always asking me to do her laundry for her. I did it a few times, but now I just refused. It's constant, and she hasn't participated in house cleanup since she moved in. She will sometimes cook for herself, but she leaves a huge mess in the kitchen. Even worse, leaving scrambled eggs or beef fat and such on the pans. We're vegan, but we're not rude about it. She can have and cook meat, eggs, etc. in the house, but I can't stand the sight of her dishes sometimes with all these meat products in them. She's also very loud in the morning. Both my husband and I have more flexible jobs and sleep until 8 or 9, but she gets up at 5:30 a.m. and as soon as she's out of the shower, goes straight into the living room, blares the TV, loudly makes breakfast, often on the egg pans, and wakes up all of us. Not every day, but often. We've talked to her about it and she apologizes, but lately she just says, well, maybe you should wear earplugs if you sleep so light. She doesn't have a TV in her room, but she has an iPad she could watch on, or we have headphones set up to our TV that we use late at night so as to not wake the neighbors or her, which she could easily be using. I really feel ready to remove her just after a few months, and I don't know how to make it to summer when the kids get out of school, honestly. I also don't really see why she hasn't started showing her house since her job is going well and she has started mentioning that we have an extra room. It's a game room, not an extra room that the kids could stay in. I always laugh her off or seriously shoot her down, but she's now clearly been saying it to my parents because they are bringing it up too. Honestly, I don't want to let her stay now, let alone lengthen the stay. This is ridiculous, but my mother seemed very insistent I let her and the kids move in with me this summer. I am not going to, but I would like this to not become a giant family drama. I'm already the black sheep of the family as both my sister and my brother across the country have kids. And my parents always wanted us all to have big families. They think my husband and I are kind of defective, that we don't want children. They love me, but they don't really like me. At least that's how it feels sometimes. They also hate that I'm vegan, even though I try really hard to never be rude about it. Basically, we're already the weirdos of the family. There's a preface edit here. I feel like maybe I downplayed that my sister was widowed 2 years ago and that some of this seems like her not being quite herself. We are close, and she is actually the one who never treated me like I was weird for being child-free and vegan, so on and so forth. So I wanted to add that as someone suggested I should. I don't think I exaggerate her behavior here at all. This is what's happening, but some context might be more fair. It's like, yeah, that would be a really gnarly thing to have to deal with on the day-to-day. Like, you have a husband who's in the service, he gets out, he makes it, comes back home, gets, meets his maker via car accident.
Oh,
like
that's
a real tough one to
I've had that
to
in my
figure out,
family.
to digest.
It's really hard.
Here's the update. So I sat down with my father before talking to my sister because I felt my mom was being very pushy about the whole situation. My father mentioned that my mom was just very worried about my sister because apparently she'd fallen apart worse than any of the rest of us had seen after her husband passed away. She seemed to be seeing a therapist, raising her kids, going to school and getting a job, getting her license and keeping it together. But apparently the messiness and laying about had already started in her own house, and my mom had been cleaning up after her, etc. Since my sister had always been an amazing housewife and kept a beautiful house, this really startled my mother. Apparently, they went in her house after not going in there for a month because she always went over to theirs, and it looked like an episode of Hoarders with bugs and roaches and all kinds of problems. No one ever told me.
Oh, horrible.
And this is why it's good to approach situations with curiosity.
Yeah, like check in on her. See why she's acting like that.
Not my sister's leaving all this crap all over my house because she's a slob and she hates me and she doesn't care what I think. Like, oh, my sister is completely emotionally drained and is probably going through a depressive episode.
She's also trying to take care of children.
Clearly, this issue was very deep in my sister, and her psyche was somehow embedded in the dishes and laundry issue. But I didn't think continuing to enable her was really helping her anyway, so I still sat down and gave her some clear house rules in writing with consequences.
Good. Yeah, that is the way to do it. It's clear communication where you're saying, hey, these things need, like, I'm here for you. I understand that things are, like, really tough for you, but these are what I need to see change. And these are the consequences. I'm not going to kick you on the street right now, but, you have to change how you're acting in my house.
True. I also told her there was no way to extend her stay or bring the kids here, and talked to her about potentially commuting if she decided she could. Since many people asked why she didn't, she does have a driving phobia, but it's clearly improving. I told her I support her and will always be here for her, but some kinds of behavior are just not okay no matter how much pain she's in. We had what I'd consider a good talk. She agreed to all the rules about cleanliness, and the past few days she has been much neater and quieter. But of course, it's too short of a time to tell much of anything major. I hope things will improve for her. She's not sure she can commute back and forth, but doesn't want to sell the house in case she can. So that was part of wanting to extend her stay, not having to make a decision. And by the way, you can make a decision to listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can just search OK Storytime, and there you will find 53 consecutive days worth of stories for you to listen to with your cute little ears. You think I don't see them? I do.
They're cute.
They're adorable. Look at you with those little cute ears. Having cute here, having Okay, sorry, I lost it there. I lost the plot there for a second, guys. But I'm back.
And we got a little bit left.
Back, and we've got a little bit of story left. Your cute ears distracted me. So, oh God, the story disappeared. Not again.
Well, I'll give some final thoughts. I think OP has handled this very well. I think approaching it with maybe not as much curiosity as she should have in the beginning, but like we've gotten to that point where she understands kind of the full story and understands why her sister is doing all of this, and it seems to be now giving her a little bit more grace while also still maintaining boundaries, which I think is important.
Yeah, I do, and I feel guilty of sort of brushing that car accident under the rug because we did read that at the beginning of the story, and I did internally think, I was like, oh, I guess she must have been.
I guess
she must have processed it.
Truthfully,
because they said it was like in a parentheses.
Yeah.
But the way it was said made me feel like,
I thought it was
maybe
like
they
much
had
earlier
really
or
processed
something. Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like it's been a couple years and she's like on the other side of it.
Yeah, but no, this was recent.
Clearly the exact opposite of that is what was going on. Check in on your people, folks.
Yeah.
Let's finish the story. I pointed out June is far away, so we can make the decision of whether to rent out or sell the house in April or May, since she has money saved anyway, and our parents can help her rent it out. They literally rent out houses for a living. I will continue to help and support her with this, and she's going to try to commute home a few days a week if she feels up to it to tackle her phobia and see her kids more. I just wanted to leave an update about the situation and a thank you, because the thread gave me some great ideas. Talk to my dad, why wasn't she commuting, etc., and really helped me find my words.
Good.
And that is the end of that story.
I posted a picture of my nephew on social media without my brother's permission.
Well, that's not cool. You need to ask permission, kids.
My brother, 25 male, I'll call him Tom, and I, 26 female, have never really been close, even though we're a year and 2 months apart from each other. I was born first, but he usually questioned my authority when I was the one who was in charge of keeping him in check. When we were alone, or going pretty much anywhere by ourselves, we went to school together. And most people didn't even know we were siblings until one of us said something, since we didn't exactly look like each other. Though we do share the same parents. Someone even had mentioned before that we look like a cute couple. And I gagged! And said, you! No! He's my brother! Ever since we were kids, Tom's always been the troublemaker and the one who never takes advice given to him. This'll be important for later. By the way, this comes from Sketchy Girl on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Flash forward to our early adult years, and Tom gets a girlfriend. I'll call her Kai, since that's the name she changed it to, and she deserves the fiery pits for what she did. Who was, well, crazy. Granted, Tom's girlfriends were always crazy up until this one, but she was really off her rocker. You and me both, girl. To put it into some retrospect, the first words out of her mouth when I met her for the very first time were, I haven't slept in 3 days. You and me both, girl. I ended up talking to Tom and saying she was a bit loony, since no sane person would just blurt that out for a first impression, but he brushed me off saying, that's just how she is. Leave her alone. So I let it be. A few months later, I ended up moving out of the house to try and make it on my own with my boyfriend, now ex. Ooh, there's a story there. And Tom was moved to the basement of the home with Kai, moved in as well. About 6 months went by after I moved out, and I get a call from my mother. She tells me Tom got married, and he didn't tell anyone about it. She ended up hearing from a friend of a friend who heard him talking about it as his job and decided to do some digging. They had a marriage license hidden in a drawer, and it was from months prior. They went to the courthouse and got married. I was astounded and couldn't believe he had the audacity to keep it a secret out of a fear of our mother's wrath. Kai was living under the roof with him in the basement, and neither of them thought to tell our parents about their big decision the whole time. Anyway, my mother punted them both out since they have been late on rent and wouldn't do any chores since Kai was clinically frail. She was clinically frail? I feel like there's got to be a better medical diagnosis than clinically frail.
Clinically skinny.
Clinically itty bitty. The doctor diagnosed her as skinny. In her words, where her back was always hurting or she was always sick so she couldn't work, etc. She had to take medications to function as a normal person, and there were a lot of them. After they were moved out, I had to come to help my mother clean up their vacated living space, and it was absolutely disgusting. I wanted to buy myself a hazmat suit to clean it and needed to take a number of breaks because it was a lot. Fast forward about a year later, Kai and Tom are expecting. Congrats. I was happy for them and growing their family, but I was worried for the child at the same time. They were both not really parental material, especially Kai. And she was the one who was going to be carrying the baby. All I could do was hope this one was going to stay, since apparently she had 8 miscarriages in the past before even meeting my brother Tom. A month goes by after they tell me, and I get a call from Kai saying that Tom is mistreating her and all this horrible stuff. But I know my brother. Wait, whoa. She's saying all this stuff, and LP's like, I'm not going to look into that. That's not my brother.
Yeah, she's like, nah, I know him.
I know him.
Like, but do you know how he is in relationships behind
I don't
closed
think
doors?
So I think OP's a little bit judgy. He's not that type, but I take her story and keep it in mind since she lies a lot to get attention. Only a week after that, everything exploded and all heck broke loose. Kai and Tom were apparently in an open marriage. She slept with someone and didn't have them wear protection, even though she had told Tom that they did, and it was said during a fight that the baby might not even be his to begin with. Tom was upset, and Kai was trying to drag his name in the mud after having her lies found out. She and him got a divorce, and she was still pregnant with a child when it was finalized, but a paternity test was requested when the child was born. During the separation, Kai started spreading misinformation and attempted to take him to court for his towards her. I was fuming, so I defended Tom in her comments and even made my own post about what she said, stating that she had no right to say things like that about my brother. Well, are they true? Does she have proof? Like, are you just like, no way? That's what I'm wondering. She didn't respond and ended up straight up blocking me since I was no longer on her side. Good riddance. Then the time came for the baby to be born. I don't know the full details of what occurred, but he was placed into foster care a while later. Kai got the DNA test, and he was Tom's son. We were all relieved and accepted him into the family when the news came back. Wait, what? Were you like, Tom, if that's not your baby, you're not going to be in our family now?
Yeah, what?
What? What? He's currently being taken care of by some family friends who will be adopting him when the time finally comes around later this year. And I did think for a moment they were talking about Tom, but I believe they're talking about the baby. Then comes the true meaning of my post. I saw my nephew for the first time last year and got to get some pictures of him and I together. He has fallen asleep on my chest while I held him, and his face was turned away from the camera, so it wasn't violating any of the rules with the agency if I was to post it. I was given permission to post my proud auntie pictures to Facebook by the foster parents, and so I did. Tom saw them and had then demanded I had them taken down. He patronized me and called me names, saying that I shouldn't be posting pictures of his son online because it can hurt his chances of being a real father and yada yada. At this time, his son was only about 4 months old, and Tom hasn't made any effort to see him or acknowledge his birth. He didn't even visit Kai in the hospital while she was in labor, so he was practically irresponsible in my eyes. Then why were you so gung about him? Like, there's no way that he could have possibly, been the bad guy in the relationship. Like, OP was like, there's no way that Tom could have done anything wrong. And now he's telling us that he's like this kind of absentee parent.
Yeah. Tom is the brother?
Tom is OP's brother who got this girl pregnant
I'm confused about that line that said like accepting him into the family then.
I don't get that. Oh, guys, accepting the baby into the family, not Tom.
Oh,
I just got that. Yeah, accepting the baby into the family.
I totally was thinking about Tom too, the way it was worded.
That I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Accepting the baby into the family.
Okay.
But yeah, OP is like going really back and forth about her brother.
Yeah, maybe
he's irresponsible, and then also there's no way that he could have done any of this. He didn't even visit Kai in the hospital while she was labor. So he was practically irresponsible in my eyes. I know he isn't financially stable enough to raise his son on his own, nor does he have the most safe of households since he lives in filth. But he had to think that someone was at least going to post something about his son. My mother was actually the first to post a picture of him as her first grandchild. So why wasn't he going after her about pictures? Anyway, after I refused, he ghosted me. My then half-sister, I'll call her Tia, reposted the picture of my mother holding Tom's son, saying, "This is the only picture I have of him, but yay, I'm an auntie." I wanted to wait after Tom was able to get custody, but oh well. So I had a good chat with her. I told her that she should either delete her post or edit it to cut out the custody part because it violates the rules of the agency that Tom's son is under. If he wanted any of his rights to make a difference in being able to see him or even get the custody, he and everyone else has to follow these rules or it will be over for him. Tia went off on me saying that if I can post about my nephew, then she can too. I argued that I have a right to post about my nephew because I am his full-blooded auntie and she was only half related to us. I even had permission from the foster parents and made sure that I didn't post his face, so I didn't see why there would be an issue. Tia was fuming at me and calling me names. She probably has undiagnosed bipolar, if I'm gonna be honest, and demanded that I should take the picture down because it was hurting our brother too. But I kept refusing. I then told her the reason you only had the one picture of our nephew was because you took it as a screenshot from my mother's post. Tom hasn't made any effort to see him. I know he doesn't have the contact information of the foster parents for safety reasons, but he still could have had visits with an agent present, which he hasn't done. So get off your high horse because you have no power here. Then she blocked me too. Ever since then, Tom and our half-sister Tia have been mad at me. That was nearly a year ago now. It's crazy that Tom is okay with Tia posting.
Yeah, I wonder if he is.
That. Yeah, it seems.
I wonder if they had any words about it.
I don't know. I still have that picture of my nephew and I up, and when I scroll and see it, I'm reminded of the reason my own brother won't talk to me much anymore. Maybe I could have been a bit nicer, but I was just done with the mess of the situation Tom put himself in. So am I the a-hole for posting a picture of my nephew on Facebook without my brother's permission? And there is an update. Angela Connolly says, everyone sucks here. That's where I'm at. Honestly, I honestly think that, I mean, like, Tom obviously sucks, but I think OP is being a little bit sucky about this whole situation too.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, technically playing by the rules, but if Tom is like, hey, can you like not do that for my own sake, then she should be considerate of that and be like, you know what, you're so right. Let's like get this finalized and then we can figure that out. You know?
Agreed.
It just feels like this doesn't need to be as big of a problem as it is at all.
Yeah. Josh says, how does OP even know that Tom hasn't made any effort to see the baby? I don't know. I think OP is making a lot of assumptions. Yeah, the picture stuff, get permission from everyone. I deleted the photo. After reading the comments and coming to the conclusion that I was in the wrong, I decided to just delete the photo I had posted from last February. I came to realize that my family has a problem with privacy. Since I grew up with my grandparents posting about life events with my cousins, their nieces, and nephews, and anyone else on Facebook, and I shouldn't have assumed that it would be okay for me to take part in that, even with the permission I got from the foster parents. In the moment, I was happy about being an aunt to the most precious of little boys, but it was selfish of me since I didn't think of the questions it would raise through mutual friends about my brother becoming a father. It could have hurt his reputation at the time, and I should have waited until everything was finalized before taking any action. By the way, you should take action and listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think deleting the photo is probably a good way to go. And especially if you have privacy issues, especially with kids on social media, that's just in itself like a touchy subject and kind of like, So it makes sense that people wouldn't want them on there. So just don't put them on there. It's okay. We don't have to live on social media. It's okay. It's fine. Just tell people in real life or on text.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good.
With everything you said. But there's a little bit left to this story. In the end, I regret having made the mistake and caused such a rift in my relationship with him. I believe that since the foster parents had final say, I didn't have to listen to my brother or my half-sister, but I now understand that I should have been more mindful since it was his child after all. I have no ill will towards my brother, and I didn't mean to hurt him in all this time having the picture up. So an apology to him would have to be in order. Thank you guys for helping me come to this realization. I will accept my a-hole judgment and try my best to be more mindful of others in the future. And folks, that's the end of that story.
My brother has been an absent parent. Now he wants to take over.
He's like, I'm tapping out. I'm going to tap you in. Are you ready?
So, am I the a-hole? My brother had a child right after graduating high school. And my mother, who has always favored him, stepped right in to care for this child. He married the baby mama, but it was short-lived. Then, like most people in the early 20s, he wanted to be free. Have fun like a little bird. By the way, this comes from Traditional Age 6299. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime, our little subreddit. So, my niece grew up with my mom, seeing her parents on occasion. Honestly, my brother would breeze in every couple of weeks and be like a big brother to her. This always bothered me. She's now grown herself, married with 3 kids of her own. She's an excellent mother. I'm very proud of her. And about 10 years after having her, he met another toxic woman. They got married and began having kids right away, like popping them out, you know?
Just bang, bang, bang.
He actually knew her for 2 weeks when she quit her job and then moved in with him. So in the 20 years they've been married, she's never worked again.
I was about to say, when you know, you know. I was going to say it as a joke, but clearly this one worked
they
out.
knew. Oh, my God. And they've had 6 kids. She is obsessed with babies, but once they get about 2 or 3 years old, she's not very interested anymore. Yikes. He just kept giving in to this regular user ion to make her happy. Meanwhile, even though he has a great job, money has been tight. I helped them out some early on because I worried about my nieces and nephews, but as they continue to make more kids after my helping, I quit doing so. I firmly believe my mom has continued to do so whenever she could, and mind you, she is on a very fixed income. She would not make it if my sister and I didn't help her financially. That is one thing my sister will do, send money for my mom. So even after my brother remarried, his first daughter was never part of that family. The second wife did not want her to be. My mom, his enabler, has made every excuse under the moon. There's no excuse for that, though. After 20 years of marriage and 6 kids, 2 are grown, another almost grown, 3 still have young ones, his wife asked for a divorce. I have no idea what happened, as I do not want to get too deep in this drama, but since she's never had any desire to work, I assume there's another man promising her things. My mom had to move in with me about 5 years ago due to health issues. I'm her caregiver, including doctor's visits, picking up medicine, all the grocery shopping, taking all the errands, cooking for her, cleaning for her, etc. She has always loved to drive. Up until 2 years ago, she still drove and could do more for herself, but suddenly she became scared to do so. I have no idea what this is about. Maybe she ran over someone. I didn't tell you.
She's got the deepest, darkest secret.
Yeah. I feel like she hit something and doesn't want you to know.
Well, this happened to a friend of mine. I got a buddy who just can't drive right now because they just get they have like a anxiety, like panic attack type situation.
I'm not getting panic attacks, but I am becoming a worse and worse driver day by day.
Yeah, I think I know why.
Yeah.
I'm really clued in as to why you are. You have to stop letting your car drive itself.
It's so bad.
You can't keep doing this all the time.
Bad. It's great.
No.
It's great. I was terrified of taking the wheel in the McDonald's drive-thru. I hit the curb. I literally take over the wheel for like 20 seconds.
Don't you want to fly planes
and
someday?
I hit the curb.
I will say that those Tesla tires, they hit the curb so easy. I hit the curb yesterday.
It's totally the tires. You're right. Suddenly, she became scared to do so, to drive. I have no idea what this is about. So that has actually made her more dependent. So his wife wanted a divorce, and he came right to my mom for sympathy. He stayed with us a few months, and it was absolutely... I've always known he likes his... but had no idea how bad it is. So maybe the wife divorced because of some drinking problem. He spent a considerable amount of time in the spare bedroom just drinking when not working, and it would often make him confrontational, so he'd get a little mad. My mom would make excuses for this too, that he missed the kids so much and was depressed. Finally had to make it clear that it was my home and I am not having that. Shortly after that, he got his own place. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I will hold my judgment for later.
I could tell that my mom was furious with me, but there was not much she could say. And I stepped up for her, and she knows what he was doing was not right. So one of the teenagers got into it with their mom. This is one of the teenagers of OP's brother and now his becoming ex-wife. And she called child services on her mom. I have no idea who is right or wrong. This teenager can be drama, but so is their mom. It's really just a taste of her own medicine. But now there's a whole investigation going on, and my brother wonders if he may end up with custody of them all.
Well, not if you're spending all your time drinking in the spare bedroom.
Because he is the one with a good job who can provide. I can tell he's not thrilled with this idea, but he does love those kids. I would hope so.
So he's out of the spare bedroom now, right? He moved out,
Yeah,
so he's getting the drinking maybe under control to some level.
Yes. So he continually worries. My mom is sick with all this. I hear her on the phone multiple times a day since I work from home, trying to be his therapist, telling him how to go about it, find a better place, enrolling them in different schools, and making it work if he gets them. But I can also tell from these conversations that he's trying to get her to assist him with it. Again, this mom has like no money.
Yeah.
The mom is living with OP because she has no money, and any money that she does have is going to like support these kids. There's no way she can do that. And if she volunteers to do it, that will all just fall on me. And I cannot take it anymore. I've had some female health problems of my own, and I'm probably going to have major surgery. I have nothing else to give right now. I have no children of my own, so I've always doted on my nieces and nephews. Every vacation they've been on, I have provided it. And not to brag, but these have been nice vacations. The beach, Disney, even a cruise. I want to do this for them because we never got anything like that growing up. I've also paid for every single school lunch for every one of them since they've been in school. I know that seems minor, but when you think about $250 a day per child times 6, that adds up. And I've had them on a regular basis for years. They're at least with me one weekend a month, sometimes two. Some of the older ones do their own things now, but they are always invited. I've also always attended all events at school. School staff know me by first name. My brother works often, and his wife has never been really interested in the kids unless they are babies. So it sounds like the wife has not been interested in the kids since they're babies. The brother hasn't really been there for any of his 6 kids, including the 7th kid that he had from another marriage.
Right, the exiled kid.
The exiled kid. And then OP, the sister, and the mom are the ones raising these 6 kids.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, yes.
That's a lot to put on everyone else.
Yeah, well, hopefully at some point, the kids get to that age where they just start raising each other. Riley knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, brother sharpens brother.
It's like kickstarting an engine, you got to pull the lawnmower a couple times and then the engine of that family just gets, well, then, you get a couple 10-year-olds in there. They babysit the 3-year-olds. So I've been at school for holiday lunches, parties, field days, plays, awards, etc. And again, I do these things because I want to. I love my nieces and nephews, but here's where the new problem arises. I guess because I have done so much, it's almost expected now. Opie's being taken for granted.
Yeah.
Because of all this work she's been doing for these 6 kids.
Well, you sent us to the beach, you sent us to Disney, you put us on that big boat. What's next? That's all we want to know.
Yeah.
What's
exactly.
next?
You set the bar high.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of money.
How much is a Disney beach cruise, Riley?
I saw 15 G's for a family of 4, which that's pretty steep.
Dang!
I don't know if that's accurate.
A family of 4, $3,200 to $10,000 or more.
How long is it?
The 3-day one is $2,500 for a family of 4, and a 7-night is like $4K a person.
Yeah, but what does that look like?
$4K a person? Well, here's where the problem arises. I guess because I have done so much, it's almost expected now as if I'm the 3rd parent. But I am not. So I've felt for a while my brother is hinting to my mom for us to help in some way. I have made it clear. I do not want him moving in my house with all those children. I have a basement, which he has mentioned more than once. I work from home, and I need to have quiet areas. And quite honestly, I do not want to do that. I want to be the cool aunt. If I wanted to be a mom daily, I would have had my own kids.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a what's yours is mine situation.
No. And even if he's not hinting in that direction, he still seems to be wanting our help in some capacity. If he gets custody, I don't think it's right to be obligated. Again, we are not the parents. Of course, since our mom already raised a kid for him, I think her helping seems perfectly normal for him. But there are two things wrong with that. First of all, she's not 50 years old anymore. She is almost 80 years old and not in good health. And the second thing is that even if she agrees to anything, it will be her basically volunteering me as I am her caregiver. So hello.
She's like, oh, yeah, I'd do that. Can you do this for me?
Yeah, she doesn't have the mental or physical faculties.
She can't do it.
She can barely get out of bed. She's an old bag of bones.
Yeah, we love our old bags
We
of
love our
bones.
old bags of bones.
They can't raise 3 children, though.
Yeah.
Well, because there's 3 that are still young, and then there's 3 more that are older. But they're still
Old.
teenagers, so they're not all the way grown up. They're at the age where they can take care of themselves.
Yeah. Then today, I had to take a couple of hours off of work to take her to a doctor's appointment. By the way, I'm the only one who ever does this. Opie is the only one that ever does anything.
So where's brother, dude? Where is brother?
Brother's drinking himself away, I think, but he has his own place. He's drinking himself into a hole last week, we heard.
Still not happy about that, though. I'd almost rather you be drinking yourself into a hole in the guest room instead of
At
just
least
like
where we can
alone
monitor
in your
you.
own place.
We don't know that he is drinking himself into a hole, but that's where he was last.
Well, it definitely feels like a great internal excuse to be like, well, this is why I can't be a good parent.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not showing up.
You have to do it all for me. Well, since she lives with me and I work from home, my siblings just always assume I will do it. If I miss work hours, I still have to make those up. But I have just learned to pick my battles. So we got in her car and I could tell something was bothering her. Then, out of nowhere, she says if child services decides kids can't stay with their mom, I will not let them go to foster care. We will have to take them in. How about going to the dad?
It's like we need to get dad back in
tip-top shape.
Life-living shape.
Yeah. It sounds like OP can't take those kids in.
I mean, and that's fair.
And that's totally fair. It sucks for the kids. But, you know, like if OP can't really take them in, like that's...
Maybe the exiled daughter can take them in. She's good at it.
Hey, I know you have a few kids of your own, but can you take these 6 kids?
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you when you were growing up, really.
Well, we have to take them in. I have no idea where that came from. So I reminded her that they have a whole other parent, her son. And that as long as they're 2 able-bodied parents, that's who they need to be with. For some reason, this made her so mad. She spent the rest of the ride ignoring me. And if it ever really came down to that, of course, I would not let my nieces and nephews go to foster care. But I don't want to even offer this as an option, as I feel their parents will take advantage of it. And I hate to say that about my brother, but he has been enabled so much that I think he would. I honestly think he would let our elderly mom do the lion's share of it all if I was not there playing defense. I called my sister, this is sister number 2, for help, asking her to confirm and tell her mom that there is no way we can care for children at her age and health. She responded back with a text message saying, I don't want to be in the middle of this. Like I do. I just feel so defeated. These are problems that adults made for themselves, and they should be the ones stressing on them and figuring them out. I went to check on my mom before bed and give her her night medicines, and she informed me that if anything happens, she will be taking the kids in. I just had nothing left to argue with tonight. I'm having a lot of pain with my own health issues, and I'm stressed to the max, but I guess tomorrow I'm going to have to remind her that this is my home. I hate to play that card as I always wanted her to feel at home, but it's my house, and again, I would not let my nieces and nephews go to foster care. She also told me, though, today that I must not love them as much as I say, or else I would be stepping up and taking over. That is not my place, and it's not her place either. I mean, again, I feel like OP is saying, hey, I'm not going to totally abandon these kids. I just want the father to have the ability or the opportunity to step up and step in before we take that weight off of his shoulders.
Right. It's like the first move shouldn't be like, all right, well, we need to put all the kids into foster care because the parents aren't able. But it's like the father could be able, and OP is fair in being like, I can't do this.
Give the father the chance to, say yes. I feel like the mother is being like, no, he couldn't possibly take care of 6 kids. But they're his kids, and he
But
did
it's-
take care of them for at least some period of time.
I don't know, dude. Like, if you're in the middle of an episode, it's not
Candy.
a great environment. We can't just put our hands up and be like, well, there's nothing to be done about that. I guess now OP has to adopt 6 children.
Crazy.
It's like, no.
She's not going to let this go easily. It's more a control thing with her. And the fact that she has an intention of enabling my brother makes me feel like a giant a-hole. But I don't think I'm wrong for setting these boundaries. Me doing so much for these kids is now becoming a punishment for me because, as I asked her earlier, why is so much expected of me? But she does not expect the same for my sister, who is also the other aunt. Again, there's this other sister that could also help, but just was like, I don't even want to get anywhere near this mess. Because it does seem like a mess. And her comeback was that my sister has not even been close to them like I have. So me being a good aunt means I'm supposed to take everything on. I just feel so taken advantage of by people I've helped.
I mean, in a way that definitely makes sense, that it's like if you've been the one providing the most for the kids.
We do have an update. So there have really not been big changes over the last few days since I posted this, except for me holding my ground more and making it clear that I'm not going to do that. My mom ignored me the whole next day, and the day after that, she began trying to be nice. She must have either spoken to my sister or thought it through and realized I am the one in control. But I'm not some control freak who has to call the shots. But in this situation, I wanted some peace. She did mention yesterday that if my brother really needs her, she will go to him. And I told her that she was an adult and that was her choice. But I also said she needs to think about her health. I also heard her over the phone with her sister, my aunt, and I only heard a little bit of it as I was bringing groceries in while she was trying to keep her on the porch. I try not to listen to any of it to keep my sanity. Her sister was telling her that she should really consider going to the assisted living where her friends are. I also heard my aunt saying that I had enough on me already. She mentioned this morning that even if she decided to go to assisted living, they have no openings until the first of the year. So she must have actually spoken to her friends about it. But then she also casually mentioned this morning when I brought her breakfast that she worries she will go there and that my brother will need her help with the kids. I told her that she had nothing else left to give those kids except visiting with them when she can. I informed her she had already raised one child for him and that this was her time to be with her friends and rest. And it was my time to do what I want to do too. I also told her by neither one of us doing it, it would actually build a stronger relationship between him and his kids. Not to mention that the older ones help a lot with the younger ones. She actually agreed, but I also see that she's having a hard time not rushing to help him. She never said she was sorry. She rarely ever does, but she did say that she helps him more because he's willing to ask for it. I reminded her that the very few times my sister and I asked for help when we were still very young teenagers, she told us to figure it out. So we did. And ours were never big asks. One time I needed help with college student aid paperwork, and she said she had no idea how to do it and shut me down. I didn't want money, just assurance. I never asked for help with anything again. I told her that us figuring things out young really helped us so much in the long run. She looked in hard, though, and sad at the same time. Even though physically she's not what she once was, my mom is still very mentally sharp. I could tell she knew I was right about that. Then I noticed my brother had called me twice this afternoon. I have not heard from him at all over the weekend because I'm assuming she told him we had gotten into it about that. She hears from him multiple times a day, and for him to call twice back to back makes me think it's going to be one of those emergency situations. If anybody can make a mountain of a molehill, it's him. Or else he's just waited too long to do something, and now it's a dire situation, which he says most issues are. Man is the man who cried wolf all the time. But either way, I'm not rushing to call him back. I have not felt well all day. Right now, I'm just going to focus on my health and my health alone. Getting into the specialist the first part of the September cannot come quick enough. Thanks, everyone, again. And we have another update.
All right.
But what are you thinking? Are you thinking this mom is going to just take responsibility once again for the brother's kids? Or do you think we'll finally have this brother do the thing that he must, which is take care of 6 kids?
I'm hoping that the brother wakes up here. I'm hoping we can get some top-down pressure on the brother, some positive pressure, because it's really dicey thing to try to like prompt someone into action when they're doing things that like are wrong or bad. Because if you just go, you're doing wrong things and you're bad, a lot of times that will just make someone do more wrong, bad things. Because now they feel worse.
Yeah, shame is not a motivator, like you said earlier.
Yes.
It's not a good long-term motivator. I think you can shame someone into doing something right for an afternoon, but I don't know if you can shame someone into doing something right for like a lifetime. All right, we got an update. We got an update too, though. So I've stood strong and absolutely refused to be dragged into the drama or manipulated into taking kids in that have two able-bodied parents. Every time my mom or he has brought it up, I have shut them down and walked away. When my mom purposely gets on the phone, speaking to him loudly when I can hear, I just turn on my fan and get back to work.
Clarification really quick. Didn't like CPS say the mother was not fit?
Yeah. So I guess the mother is able-bodied, but maybe not able-minded.
The state has been like, oh, you can't have these.
You can't have those kids. So two able-bodied, while that might be true, I don't know if we want this around the able-bodied mom because the mind seems a little off.
Yeah. She just wants babies.
Just wants babies. Just for 3 years. I just turn on my fan and get back to work. Well, then, tonight, my brother called me, drinking as he always does on the weekends, and he said he wasn't, but it was very obvious he was. I've not answered many of his calls for the last month or so, but he called me twice in a row, so I thought something was wrong. It started off pretty well. As he knows, I am done with the drama. He asked how I was and how work was going. He's only come by twice to see our mom, but both times I was on work calls, but then he snuck in something he knew would bother me. He said that his soon-to-be ex-wife had been spending the money he's giving her on frivolous things. Therefore, he did not think she had paid the house note where she and the kids live. So I guess like the rent. I will say that he has sent her a good amount of money every month because my niece told me how much it was a while back. And he does pay it the first of every month. Now the wife is working, bringing in her own full-time income. She should have enough to pay what all of them need. Their mortgage isn't very high. But again, not my deal. What she originally wanted was for him to pay all the bills up there and still pay his own bills too. Well, that's not how things work, but I don't think they have a formal agreement through the courts yet. And before anyone asks, I have no idea why he hasn't filed or what's going on. I'm trying my best to stay out of it. I feel for someone who's trying to stay out of it. You know a lot. It seems like you've been forced into it.
You're clued in.
You're clued in, whether you want to be or not.
You're tapped. You've got your finger on the pulse of what's going on here.
I don't feel like OP likes that pulse. That pulse seems like a drag.
And it really does sound like, at least financially, like brother is more than capable of taking care of his kids.
Yes, but also it seems like he's sending money, but I feel like
he's sending money to her, and she's the one spending it all.
Or get dragged into being taken advantage of. So he said if they lose the house, she would probably be taking the kids and moving back to her home state, and I wouldn't see the kids. He then said the only option would be if I could take them in. So there it was. The reason he called, I remembered all the great advice I got on here and did not fall for it. I told him he would have to take them in. He is their father. After all, I am just their aunt who already takes care of our mother. And I've gone far and beyond what most aunts do.
I feel like after hearing that on the phone, he just let out like a, I knew
Fine,
you were.
I'll take care of my kids. Mom!
Mom,
Help
she said
me.
it again.
If this guy was smart, he could literally like build a empire with these kids and get as much wanted.
Excuse
With
me?
the kids?
Yeah, dude.
beer.
Okay, hear me out. You somehow figure out how to make it. You teach the kids. You make it fun, and then boom. Hey, I need a. Here you go, Dad. You always get one, and it's profitable.
You have your kids start a microbrewery
Mm-hmm.
in your garage.
In the Bible of Riley.
Moonshine.
Page 1 in big bold letters is child labor.
It worked out well.
You know what Riley's going to do with his kids?
Put him to work.
Put him to work.
Yeah. A lot of my cousins did moonshine. It worked out fine.
He started rambling some excuse on why he couldn't do it. Apartment too small. Nobody to keep the younger ones after school. Blah, blah, blah. None of which made any sense, but I did not fall for the threat. I told him I would hate for that to happen, but only he was in the position to stop it. And that I love my nieces and nephews completely, but I was not taking anyone in this house. I was at a friend's house and did not take long. My friend was so proud of me. I swear that he gets to drinking and feeling down about the mess of life. He wants to ruin someone else's night, or he wants attention. Not sure what it is, and I have no desire to figure it out. I am worried about them moving away. His wife's family are not the best people. Does anyone know if she can legally do that? I cannot let my mom or brother know I'm worried about it, or they will use that to twist my arm. This whole thing really sucks. Of course, when I got home, I had already called my mom, and I was not gone more than an hour. She tried to start too, saying what a hard situation he was in once again. I remembered all the awesome advice I got here, and I just said, he is an adult and got himself into the situation. I am sure he will figure it out and be better for it. I think she has finally accepted that she can no longer enable him, and I'm not going to do it either.
Good.
And she's not happy. I went back out there a few minutes ago and told her that I would help her get ready for bed and get her medicine. Her comeback was that I did not care about her and she would not take her medicine. She said she would be better off passed away and that family helps family, which I suddenly didn't want to do. I didn't fall for it. I have helped my family repeatedly and nothing changed. I would hate for that to happen or to not see my nieces and nephews, but I'm not going to be emotionally blackmailed anymore. And I am already one step ahead knowing what they will try next. My mom will say that he wants to move in here with the kids where they don't have to move away and that we will just have to help him with them. And by we, it means me. And by help, it means me doing it all because he will go on about his life paying for things and me doing the grunt work. That is going to be a heck no. She also claimed he was not drinking anymore. I told her that was not true and he was wasted tonight. Mom will literally believe anything he tells her. It's actually quite sad. But you know what's not sad? In fact, makes me extremely happy, Dakota.
What would that be,
Is
Sam?
that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's a little bit more to this story, Dakota. But any final thoughts before we get into the end of this thing?
I am like trying to contain all of my rage.
Yeah.
That I feel towards this brother. But also, like, I feel like
he's taking no responsibility. The mom is enabling and also taking responsibility from him and shifting it to OP. It might just be like OP is the most like competent person, most competent and emotionally available person in the family. And so just everything gets thrown on her.
Yeah,
and
clearly.
that's just been her role for years and years and years.
But I'm wondering where the pressure on brother is. Maybe it's a dynamic where it's just been so long that it's like we've given up. If you're like, I am not taking care of these kids and brother needs to do it, like a good way to go about that would be to take an active role in like trying to get him to change.
Yeah. Which it does not seem like anyone is doing.
But that's the only solution that's going to make everybody happy is if you get your brother to wake up.
Well, we got a little bit more to the story. Let's see if the brother wakes up before the end. So I'm trying to be as strong as I can. And whenever I feel weak, I get back on here and look at the great advice I received. I did end up having the surgery. And when they got in there, it was not as nearly bad as they thought. And I've been recovering really well. But of course, the minute any of this starts, I instantly feel sick to my stomach. That is another reason I am avoiding it. I've always been very healthy. And suddenly my body is telling me I cannot take this anymore. So I have to listen to it. I hope everyone is well and good night. And that is where this story ends.
It's truly just a situation where it sucks all around, but none of it is on OP's shoulders, and it's not fair.
But that's where that story ends.
My sister flirted with my exes, so I'm keeping her away from my current one.
She can't keep getting away with this.
You won't get this one. This happened with every single guy I've ever dated or been interested in. This happened with every single guy I've dated or been interested in. I've only had 3 relationships before my current one with John. My twin sister, Sarah, 22 female, has tried to interfere with all of them. So twin sister, OP's also 22. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Sister and Boyfriend. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So 2 of my exes cheated on me with her.
Are you sure they just didn't know which
I
one
was about to say that. Are you sure they didn't get confused?
Yeah, she was like, "Hi, I'm OP." And they were like, "I believe it."
All right.
Why would you lie to me?
The third, we broke up for other reasons, but Sarah still tried to seduce him. He was a good guy and always had boundaries with her, but that didn't stop her from trying. To the point of sending him noodles multiple times, then claiming, "Whoops, wrong person." When that didn't work, she also tried to break us up by lying to my ex and mutual friends that I was cheating. My ex didn't believe her, but some friends did. So yeah, that was fun to deal with. Then, when we were kids in like middle and high school, if Sarah found out I had a crush, she went after the guy herself. I used to tell her those things because, well, that's what sisters do, right? She always used it against me. I told her I was working up the courage to ask my crush, the guy I was talking to prom. She then asked him, and he said yes. She said he'd been just using me to get to her. Another time, a few years before that, she announced to everyone in the class that we shared that I liked this one boy who got bullied a lot. Kids then started teasing him even more, and he hated me. I felt horrible for months. She thought it was the funniest thing ever. She also once told a teacher whose class I was doing bad in that I was into him and willing to do favors for better grades. That got reported, and I had to go through this whole counseling thing before it was finally cleared up. It was extremely embarrassing. My sister just blew it off as a prank. There's so many other situations like this. She either gets the guy who are interested in me to sleep with her or ruins my chances with them by making up BS to make me look bad. She's ruined some of my friendships, lying about me too. Told my best friend in high school I was gossiping meanly about her and went as far as faking text messages. I don't know if she even actually wants these people for herself. You might think it's obviously jealousy, but sometimes I honestly think she just does it to get a kick out of me for messing with me. I finally got my life more together after wasting the first couple of years of college on being depressed and a gamer. I met my boyfriend John at a campus organization. I haven't told Sarah, but he ended up meeting my parents by accident today. I don't have much contact with them, but they decided to come for a surprise visit. They live over 5 hours away and do this a few times a semester, even though I said I don't like it. But that's for another post. John was in my room with me when they got here. I had no choice but to introduce them. He knows I was holding it off on having them meet because I don't have the greatest relationship with them. Sarah lives at home with my parents while going to college locally. I'm certain they're going to mention my boyfriend to her and then cue her on insisting on coming with them the next time they surprise visit me. Also stalking my social media to try and figure out who he is. You can't keep him from the world, though.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to warn him. Say, hey, my sister is crazy.
Could you have a fake boyfriend and then she goes down that rabbit hole and gets trapped?
And you make a whole profile for him. And you set up a whole LinkedIn for him, and then trick her.
Boom. I've tried to explain the situation I have with her to my parents. They think I'm overreacting. They say she just wants to know what's going on in my life, to be involved.
That's the problem. She wants to be involved.
Yes, that's the problem. Her involvement. And not to mention, we used to be closer before I lost trust in her to stop doing crap like this. So I've seen what her own life is like. She does things my parents have no idea of. She takes party substances sometimes. This wouldn't be a big deal, but she has no idea how to be responsible. She drives people around like wasted and high, and my parents think she's with a friend studying on the weekends, but she's actually clubbing in the city, then crashes with her friends for the night. I'm not sure how many real boyfriends she's had, but she's hooked up with a lot of guys in the same night she's met them. This has meant a few times she was scared of a pregnancy. I've had to help her get a plan B. It sometimes feels like she sleeps with nearly any man that smiles at her. And told me she's even had spicy sleep with a few girls while wasted. However, that's possible. She confides all these things to me, but whenever I need someone to talk to, she has no time. Never wants to hear anything unless she can save it as ammo. So I've gradually stopped telling her most things. Smart. If my parents knew all of this, they might see where I'm coming from. But it's just random that I don't want her meeting my boyfriend. It's not because I want to hurt her or something. The problem is, our parents are really strict and traditional, and they probably punt her out if I told them any of that. They don't believe spicy sleep before marriage. My boyfriend is the first person I've had spicy sleep with, and I'm afraid my sister could use that against me if she tells them. So what do? How can I keep Sarah from finding out about him and doing the same thing she does with all my past boyfriends? How do I explain this to my parents? And we got an update.
This is what you do. I don't believe in I don't think you should go tell the parents. I think that's obviously she's done terrible things, but we don't need to out her. But we go to her and we say, hey, Hi, Sarah. Just thought I heard you want to be involved in my life. Just thought, maybe our parents would want to be more involved in your life.
Ooh.
Maybe I could tell them a little bit about your life.
And you got pictures ready to show.
And so you blackmail her.
That's what Casey Love said, blackmailer.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't actually have to do it. Like, it's messed up if you do it, but she doesn't know it. She doesn't know
A
that.
little bit of a hunch.
Little soft blackmail. It doesn't have to actually have any follow through.
But let's be real. OP's experience of blackmailing is level 1, and the sister, evil twin sister's probably like level 99. She's maxed out. She's like, oh, you want to blackmail me? Okay, done. Sends them like a crazy thing, and then they don't support OP anymore
that's
financially.
true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Evil twin is going to win this no matter what. She already knows how to play the system. She's been playing it for years. She's fine. OP is new to this ball game. She's going to try and do something, and Evil Twin's like, okay.
Well, maybe
Done.
you could do kind of like a mutually assured destruction kind of thing.
No.
Like Cold War it.
Evil Twin is going to do anything that she can.
So what's the solution here?
Oh, we're looking for solutions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the blackmail.
Okay, blackmail's not going to work.
It's
I
the
don't
only
think.
option we have because you can't go and tell the parents about that stuff.
You might have to sit them down and tell the parents, be like, I love you guys. I really like this boyfriend, but this is what's happened before.
Yeah.
With my past boyfriend, she's always somehow stole them from me, and I would really like it if you guys don't share it or have her visit, and you guys not visit anymore.
Keep it to just the information that is about you.
Okay, we got an update. Keon, what would you do?
Just get rid of the twin.
Oh, I haven't thought about that one yet.
There can only be one.
Whoa.
Update. So I've made a lot of changes in my family life since I posted this a couple of weeks ago. I first told everything to my boyfriend. He was shocked and assured me he'd never cheat on me with my sister or anyone else. He also respected that I didn't want her to meet him. I decided to take the advice and immediately block her on social media. She immediately noticed, like within 10 minutes after I blocked her, and she sent a text saying, "Did you block me on Instagram and Facebook?" So I didn't beat around the bush. I said yes, because I didn't like how she messed with my personal relationships. She tried to guilt trip me about how I hadn't told her about my boyfriend, which means my parents must have told her about him like I knew they would. She exploded at me because, according to her, she would never have tried to stalk him or anything. What?
She's like, wait, I wouldn't stalk him.
Yeah. Also, it's like whenever people are like, did you cheat on me? It's like, I didn't do anything physical. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't do it doggy style. What do you think?
We had a story the other day where the person was like, we didn't cheat. We just did other stuff. And it was like about cheating.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like she's doing here. But I hadn't even gotten a chance to say I was worried she'd do this. She said it first, so what does that say? Exactly. I told her I flat out didn't trust her not to try and take people from me. She called me psycho and selfish. I can't reason with her. She just never sees the problem with anything she's done. The way she thinks makes it like arguing with a young child almost. Probably because she's stuck there. I blocked her number. I still feel kind of bad doing this, but what if there was an emergency and she needed me? She can call your parents. But we live hours apart, so I figured my parents, would be the ones who she would contact in that case.
And if she needed you, she should have treated you better.
Whoa. Then as for them, I also got a call from my mom soon after I blocked my sister, who wanted to know what I was doing because she was upset. She had already heard my sister's side, which was just that I blocked her out of nowhere. So I tried to tell her my side. I did not tell her my sister's personal business about substances and having spicy sleep relations. Like I said I would in the first post, I'm not going to fall into petty revenge. I just want her to stop interfering in my life. So all I said was that in the past, she's been inappropriate with guys I've dated and has spread rumors about me, and it's made me unable to trust her. My mom then wanted to know what I meant by inappropriate. My parents are really conservative and don't believe in having spicy sleep before marriage. She also got my dad on the call at this point. I told them the details didn't matter. She kept trying to go back to this point, even wanting to know if I have been having premarital spicy sleep. It was really frustrating. I told them the point I'm trying to make is that my sister has broken my trust. They began saying I should forgive her because they care about our family and didn't want to see us fighting. Well, I'm not exactly fighting. I'm simply not going to be in contact with her. To them, it's the same thing. I would also spell it out like, hey, Dad, imagine if your brother tried to get with Mom. How would you feel about that?
How'd you feel about that? And how about if she succeeded?
Yeah, because that's happened to me 3 times already.
3 times.
I'm not about to do that again.
I can't keep doing this.
They wanted me to come home for a weekend to discuss everything as a family. I said I wasn't going to do that I've made my decision and I have no time for a trip. They said they'd come to me then, that I brought up how they show up for random visits even when I don't like it. I told them I didn't want them doing that anymore, and if they did it again, I wouldn't let them in or talk with them. So they flipped out. That was fun. I got to hear all how I'm constantly making problems and I don't care about my family.
Not fun. Bad times.
I ended up having to block their numbers because they kept calling back, and blocking on Facebook because they were sending messages going back and forth between begging to talk and accusing me of being a terrible daughter and sister. I don't know what the F I'm going to do about them. They didn't threaten to stop paying for my college if I cut them out of my life. I unblocked them to say I want to be in touch with them. And I do love them, but I can't do the unexpected visits or them prying into my personal life. I said if they stop doing that, then I'm happy to have a relationship with them. They had a million reasons and why I'm in the wrong. I couldn't deal with it and reblocked them yesterday. So I don't know what my tuition deal is going to be now. But we know what you can get for free without a tuition is if you go to your favorite freaking podcast platform, search up what phrase for free?
Okay, story time.
And boom, there will be a plethora of stories waiting for you with no tuition needed, no education needed, no experience needed. Anything else? Before we have a little bit more, I kind of want to see what happens.
Yeah, I just want to dive in.
My boyfriend at least has been really supportive of me during this crap. He thinks my parents are way out of line. My sister's crazy. He's really helped me see as a sane person as I can be. Overall, I just feel really crappy. I wish any of them would ever listen to what I say. But if they won't, then what can I do besides put up with what you all pointed out was really controlling or take more control back on myself? It just sucks. It has to be so. Final, I guess. I wouldn't mind a middle ground like planning a visit and then once in a while or talking with my sister about non-personal things, but they want to do way more than I do.
You don't know them any information, especially not if they're going to use it or it. I walked in on my sister and husband's betrayal. It ruined everything.
Just close your eyes then.
I am absolutely devastated right now. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. My sister Lisa lost her husband Jimmy 2 years ago in a motorcycle accident. She did not take it well and closed herself off from the world. A year ago, she reached out to us and told us she was having a hard time adjusting and said that she needed help. I helped her find a good therapist, and she has been getting her life back on track. By the way, this comes from Mistress Whiskers, and if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, my husband Rick felt bad for her and started spending a lot of time with her. For the past 6 months, they've spent more and more time together. At first, I was fine with it because she was finally becoming like my sister again. She started smiling. I was so happy for her, and so was my husband.
Yep, because he was pumping life into her.
They started spending more time alone from me, which I didn't think much of at first. Then they started spending more and more time alone, and I got jealous. I told my husband I would like it if we could spend more time together and that I was feeling a little neglected. He said, okay, but nothing changed.
Maybe he got confused because you guys look the same. And he's like, I'm not really sure.
I don't think
but I am,
is.
though. I am spending a lot more time with you.
Today, my sister came to my house crying because she had a dream about Jimmy. My husband and I comforted her, but I was a little annoyed because the second I let her in my house, she ran into my husband's arms. We all went into the living room and sat down. My husband asked her what happened in the dream, and she actually asked me to leave the room because she didn't feel comfortable telling me. I was so upset at this point, I immediately left and started tearing up in the other room. I was in the other room for around 10 minutes when I heard a loud sound in the living room, so I got up and went there. I could not believe what I saw. I'm literally crying my eyes out while typing this. They were effing making out on my couch in our home. What the F do I do? My entire effing world has just been shattered in front of my very eyes. I ran out of the room because I was going to vomit right there and locked myself in my room. My husband hasn't even tried to come in. I've been crying nonstop. Please help. The two people I trusted more than anything. What the heck do I do? Edit. Well, I answered the door. Rick walked in, wouldn't even look at me. He mumbled something and went and sat on the bed. I was so angry that he wouldn't even look at me that I almost left right there. I asked him what the heck was going on with him and my sister. He sat there for a few minutes without saying anything, while I was crying my eyes out until I finally yelled at him to answer me. He whispered that he loved her. At this point, I lost it. I started yelling, how could he do this to me? Did these past 10 years mean nothing to him? I literally dropped to my knees and asked how he could betray me with my own sister and then tell me he loves her. He was quiet the entire time until I stopped yelling. He said that he had been regretting not experimenting with other women before we got married and that he shouldn't have married the first girl he was with. So he hooked up with the second girl he saw? He's like, I don't know, like, your sister's right there.
And she's grieving.
I was stunned and asked if he even loved me. He said yes, but that after spending time with my sister, he realizes she's who he wants to be with. I had no words. I didn't have any clue what to say. All my life was falling apart in front of my eyes, and I was scared. I told him I might be pregnant. Is that true? And he said that he would support me. I asked, how? And he said he didn't know, but that he was leaving me to go be with my sister.
Sorry. Whenever she said, I might be pregnant, it just felt like Kelly while she was trying to get it. Because we had no, like, ramp up to this. It just, like, all of a sudden happened. Not like we were trying for a baby.
Yeah,
or we've been wanting kids for
it felt
a
like
few years.
a lie. It felt like, I might be pregnant. And he's like, I don't care. He apologized to me and told me I deserve better than him and that he will do whatever he can to help me and the baby. If I agree to divorce him, he will give me everything. He just wants out of our marriage.
All right, you're moving out.
I'm going to take the house. I'm going to take all of our money. I'm going to take this, I guess, child that you don't want.
At least you'll still see him around holidays.
If your parents aren't super against this, I'm going to flip. In that moment, I felt like I hated him and never wanted to see him again. So I screamed at him, fine. Just get the F out. You ruined my life. I hope you're effing happy, you piece of crap. And then he had the audacity to try and hug me. I flipped out and pushed him off of me. Someone knocked on the door, then he told me that he still loved me and we would figure everything out and left. I decided to call my parents and tell them what happened. My mom dropped a bombshell on me that my sister told her that she had feelings for my husband and that she wanted to be with him.
Mom! Give a girl a warning?
Oh, man. Oh, your whole family sucks.
And your mom was probably like, I just didn't want to get in the middle of
it. I don't know. I'm retired. I didn't want to cause trouble. Why she didn't tell me this, I have no effing clue, but I feel like everyone is against me. Right now, I am sitting on the computer looking up lawyers in my area. My entire life has gone to shambles within hours, and I'm terrified.
Real quick. Mom, if I got somehow in this situation, would you tell me? Or vice versa, would you tell my brothers? Please answer. Thank you. I just got to check real quick.
Gotta
with
know.
My mom. Got to get on the same page with her.
Tomorrow I'm going to go get a pregnancy test. I just hope to effing God I'm not pregnant because I do not want to have this piece of crap's baby. God, guys, I am so effing upset right now. I want to effing drink right now, but I won't in case I am pregnant. And there is an update. You got any thoughts?
Keon, what are you doing?
Oh, so my entire family's against me. My sister betrayed me. My husband betrayed me too. I'm going to Mexico.
Bro's going to Cancun.
Yeah, home is not home anymore. So I am getting far away from this place.
I'm going to Europe and I'm starting a new life.
Yeah, exactly. Just a new life. There's no point of trying and reprimand this or try and get back. There's no point.
This isn't like a conversation's got to fix something. Like, these people don't care about you.
Yeah, no.
They're nothing to be curious about over here.
So he's trying to steal my footrest.
Like, do you have any other friends?
Because your mom doesn't like you.
Her mom's going to be like, oh, no, OP, you don't understand. She loves him.
It's just her way of healing.
Yeah, like she was grieving. You have to have grace.
Your husband was putting life in her.
It's really just the godly thing to do. But there is an update. I woke up this morning and felt like complete crap and didn't want to get up. I went and got a pregnancy test and thank effing God I'm not pregnant. It was bittersweet because we have been trying to get pregnant for a while now and I never thought I'd be so glad to see I wasn't pregnant. See, the husband was just trying to increase the chances that you guys would have a child related to you. I am really upset over the way things have turned out and now I'm having these weird feelings that I want to be pregnant after all. I don't know what's going on, but it's just adding on another difficult layer of crap. A little while later, I left the house to get groceries, and when I opened my mailbox, there was a letter in it from Lisa. After I got home, I opened it and read it. I'm not going to rewrite it because I can't even stand to look at the letter again, but basically it said that she apologizes for how things turn out, and she explained to me that she was very vulnerable after losing her husband. That after spending so much time with my husband, she started to fall for him, and that she thought she wouldn't ever love anyone else again. So when she realized she loved my husband, she knew she couldn't let him go. No one else can fill the hole in her heart. Lisa promised they never physically did anything before that kiss I caught them in, and she went on to say she needs me in her life and that she hopes I can forgive her. I can't write any more about this right now. I might add in the rest later. I am an effing mess. Rick called me a little while ago. I didn't pick up the phone, so he texted me and told me that he still loves me and that we can find a way to work this out.
Literally, didn't you say earlier you love the sister? Now you can't make up your mind?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. Why can't I have both of you? It's not fair.
That's not how it works.
I don't know what the F that means since he just left me for Lisa. Now I'm really confused because now that I'm not pregnant, I want to be, and I want my marriage to not be over, even though I hate him for what he's done to me.
Didn't she say she don't want to get pregnant?
Well, that's what she's saying. She's like, oh, like now that I'm not pregnant, I want to be pregnant. But you're having a lot of mixed feelings because you want to be in the relationship that you thought that you were in. That's the thing.
I'm so mixed up in all this. Everyone's like, I don't want to be with you. I want to be with you. I don't want to be pregnant. I want to be pregnant.
It's not that she doesn't want to be pregnant with her cheating husband, but she wants to have the husband that she thought she had and have the kid that she was supposed to have. She's missing this life that she thought she was going to. And why would he text me that? Is he changing his mind? I'm so confused. It doesn't matter. Don't go back to this man. He cheated on you. I wish these past few days never happened so there would be nothing wrong still. I know I shouldn't forgive him if he wants another chance, but 10 years of marriage? Nope. You don't have a kid. You don't have a kid yet. Leave. He said he would give you everything. Leave. We were going to be parents. I'm so confused and hurt. I can't even think straight. And there is a second update.
Oh, man, this poor girl.
Like, truly, I honestly think you should move. I think you should, like, move countries, start over. You know, it doesn't always work for people, but I think that's because, you know, people go there thinking that it's going to be perfect, but then realize that they left their support system. You don't have a support system here.
Yeah, your support system hates you.
Your support system sucks. Go make a new one in some other country and start over there. You got your whole life ahead of you. What? How old is OP? You got like you're fine, man.
29?
Yeah, you're fine. Don't live in the sunk cost fallacy of, oh, I've spent 10 years with him. We were supposed to have a baby.
No, girl, you're going to bounce back.
You didn't have a baby.
You're too young.
You know? You're not tied to him in any way, so just get out.
Yikes.
Update 2. One of the most common questions I got was about my mother. Well, I talked to my mother again, and she informed me that she has known about my sister having a thing for my husband for quite some time. She didn't want to tell me because she said she was trying to get my sister to give up the idea, and she did not want me to be hurt. She got my sister to agree to let it go a few months ago and never heard anything more about it, so she thought it was over. Okay, so at least she did try to prevent it. In the letter I got in the mail, I did not want to write it all down because it was very painful. A few days have passed and I'm ready to share some more information. But please don't ask for more because I'm simply not comfortable sharing the rest of the letter. In the letter, Lisa apologized for her behavior, but also went on to blame me and said that I flaunted my happiness in front of her with my husband. She wrote that she couldn't stand to see how happy we were and how he genuinely loved me and she had no one. She told me I should have reached out to her alone and that I had no business getting my husband involved. I don't even know what that is supposed to mean. He's my dang husband. I'm not supposed to involve him in a serious matter like that? She also went on to say that my husband told her he never really loved me and that she was who he really wanted to be with and asked me not to contact him. She wants me to go through her if I want to say anything to him and that she will bring over the divorce papers in a few weeks. The audacity of this woman. The audacity of her to be like, oh, yeah, you can't talk to your husband. I know he's still legally your husband, but I'm kind of his lawyer right now. I'm going to be managing the divorce papers. So if you could just not talk to him, just talk to me. I'd be like, nope, you can talk to my lawyer. You ain't talking to me.
Yeah. It's so frustrating.
I've had a few days to process this information, but the more I think about it, the more confusing it seems to me. Then I got more information today. Lisa is pregnant.
No.
She's effing pregnant. She says it's Rick's. Rick called me as soon as he heard my father inform me. I picked up the phone only because I wanted to hear how he could lie to my face and tell me nothing happened between them before that kiss. Of course something happened between them before that kiss. While your wife is in the other room, you don't just start making out.
He tripped.
Like if that was the first time.
He tripped and fell on her face with his face.
He told me that he was so sorry and he didn't want it to happen this way and that my father wasn't supposed to tell me. I started crying and asking him how he could get pregnant with Lisa when we were trying for a baby. Then he said something that stunned me so much. My head is still spinning from it. Rick told me he could still get me pregnant if I wanted. WTF? I screamed at him, why the F would I want to be pregnant with his child when he's a piece of crap? He told me he wanted to be with both me and my sister and that he thinks he's polyamorous. I was so shocked that I started laughing. After I stopped laughing, he tried to say something else. Then I heard Lisa enter the room and ask who he was on the phone with. He said, nobody, and hung up. A little later, my sister texted me and told me she would bring over the divorce papers in a week and expected me to sign them on the spot as my husband is giving me everything. She gave me a heads up that they're getting married next month and I'm invited to the wedding if I agreed to pretend like I was never even romantically involved with my husband. I am literally at such a loss right now. Who the F is this man and where is the one I married? Why the F, after all this crap, do I still want to be with him even though I know I can't be? I just want the man I've been with for the past 10 years back. I hate Lisa and no longer consider her my sister. She has ruined my entire life. But what do I do about my husband? He just texted me right now saying he still wants to be with me, loves me, and wants a baby with me. Why is he doing this to me? Why am I even considering it? F. And there is a third update.
I have a lot to say about this, actually. And I think we should both be on screen while I say this. How does this guy think it's going to work out? He's like, okay, so I'm going to go with the sister. And then with the sister, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then after that, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then I'm going to marry the sister. But then I'm also going to let OP know, oh, I can still
make you pregnant.
I can still be your baby daddy.
And then maybe every couple of years I'll divorce the other sister and then marry you. And then I'll divorce you and then marry the sister so that we can just kind of keep going. Yeah, I think that should work. They're all stupid.
They're all stupid. I kind of see where the mom's coming from. Like, she wanted it to be, like, fizzle out. But, if, like, that happened, you got to, I don't know. It just, if you don't tell someone, it boils up into this.
That's, like, a little bit your fault, Mom.
Can he get, like, that
the thing
divorce so quick and get remarried that quickly?
No. From what I know, it'd be a little bit longer.
Yeah. How did we not see this happening earlier, too? I'd love to see a picture of this couple.
Yeah.
And love to see.
I want to see all of them. But there's an update, man. Update 3. I know this update is long overdue. Yeah. I had to wait 1 second. To be honest, the reason why I didn't update anymore was because I made pretty poor decisions that I was ashamed of. Please don't tell me you got back. And didn't want to face the reality of my situation. I wish I could come here and tell you all that I was strong and cut Rick and Lisa out of my life and moved on with my life, updating to tell you how much better off I am without them a year later. Sadly, this is not the case. I effed up bad. One commenter told me that I have something called sad person brain. I remember reading it and being in denial, but now that so much time has passed, this was absolutely the truth. I wanted to do anything to make my pain stop, so I did. I would appreciate it if I didn't get reamed for the choices I made. What's done is done, and I need help now. Thank you in advance. If you remember my last post, Rick and I were trying to get pregnant before he left for my sister and wanted to even after he did because he thought he might be polyamorous. At the time, I laughed at him because of how absurd it was. But after he hung up that call, the offer got more and more tempting. I started thinking about it, becoming enraged at my sister for doing what she did to me. I thought that I could get back at her by doing it to her. Throwing it in her face that her new boyfriend doesn't love her more than me after all. I was so angry that I heavily considered doing it. The more I thought about it, the more I wanted to out of sheer petty revenge.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Ooh, don't get me wrong. I also wanted my husband and my life back, but the thought of seeing my sister's newfound happiness and smugness over me come crashing down gave me a pleasure that I never would have imagined. My sister tried very hard to keep my contact with Rick limited. I think she was afraid he would come back to me if she didn't.
You lose them how you get them. They are related and I cheat on them.
To your sister.
Wait. They're related and they recently lost a husband.
Yep. She was only able to accomplish this for a few months. Rick tried to contact me in numerous ways during this time, but it was always very brief. I was still angry and non-receptive to his advances, but he started becoming more and more aggressive, telling me how much he loved me, how much he missed me, how much he still wanted me. I even tried blocking him on certain social media accounts, but he kept trying on others. I know I should have just blocked him on everything, but I just couldn't. The more he tried, the harder it was for me to say no. Unfortunately, this resulted in us getting back together.
OP, you knew there's more people in the world.
OP.
What does this guy look like? He probably looks like that, but you know what rats have? A long tail.
I told him I wouldn't stay with him unless he left my sister. He swore to me up and down he loved me more than anything, and facing losing me made him realize it, and that my sister was nothing to him. Everything was amazing between us again. It was like old times, and like my sister didn't even exist when he was with me. Yet every night we go back to her. Stupidly, I decided to believe him when he said he was just waiting for the right time. And excuse after excuse about how bad he felt for her. Things felt so much better when he was back with me. I didn't want to lose him again. Unfortunately, I ended up getting pregnant because I did not recontinue my birth control from when we were trying for a child before any of this happened. You are messy.
You know what probably happened? This guy got this love on him, and these women are just obsessed.
But it only works on OP and people that OP is related to.
Whoever he's around, the women he's around more. Mom, stay away. Stay away, Mom.
At the time, we were both ecstatic. And everything seemed like it was a dream come true. I had my husband back, we were having a child, and my life was no longer in pieces. Girl, he's still actively seeing your sister.
Did this erase everything? I'm so confused.
I was so happy that I turned a blind eye to everything obviously effed up about the situation. I didn't want to see it, I just wanted to stay happy. It wasn't long before Lisa found out. My entire family turned on me?
How did that happen? What? I'm so confused. Is everyone like... Oh, yeah, did they get you mixed up? Do you guys look the same? Like, what is happening here?
My parents told me how it seemed like I did this just out of retaliation and to hurt Lisa.
Oh, boy.
And what about when Lisa did it? They weren't completely wrong, but I mainly just wanted my old life back. Long story short, Lisa went absolutely berserk. She sent me a long list of never-ending pestering texts, emails, and calls. I endured heck from her and my family for months until I had to get a protective order. This only resulted in my family hating me even more. Now none of them will speak to me, and Rick has been issued an ultimatum by them to cut me off or be cut off.
Like I said, we're going to Mexico. This should have been done a long
time ago.
Take
your kid and leave.
A long time ago.
He hasn't decided on what he's going to do yet, but it seems like he's leaning towards cutting me off as he's been communicating with me less and less these past weeks. Not to mention, there has been mounting pressure from the family for him to finalize the divorce, but it hasn't happened for various reasons. I'm sorry, your parents are mad at you for sleeping with your husband. Legally still your husband. Clearly the golden child. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, that is true.
The last thing he told me was that he feels bad, but that he loves her, and passive-aggressively insinuated that I tempted him into trying to get back with me.
This is a nightmare.
Which is complete BS because he was the one who kept pursuing me. He said that I shouldn't have gotten pregnant because now I've made his life so much harder. How I let myself believe he was the man I married again is beyond me. Now all I see is how clouded my judgment has been and the utter mess I've gotten myself into.
She has thought with the wrong head.
How I wanted to be happy again so bad I destroyed my life even more trying to get that back. I'm 8 months pregnant and scared. I don't know how I can raise this baby alone. I really don't want to give her up for adoption, and the pain of losing my husband twice is unbearable. Even though I know it was because of my own stupidity, I still love him and can't believe everything he's done to me. Losing my entire family over this has also been a huge punt to me when I'm at rock bottom. Most of our mutual friends have distanced themselves from us because no one wants to take sides, but it's obvious they are all quite disgusted with the way things have turned out. I have no one left now. Please help me, Reddit. How the heck can I fix the mess I've made my life into? And that is the end of that story. But you know what can fix your lives?
What's that, Sophia?
Listening to full episodes of stories just like this.
Where do I go,
Just
Sophia?
go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, Riley.
Where do I search up, Sophia?
Okay, story time, you silly goose.
Oh, wow. And what's there for me?
So many stories. Just like this. I don't know if I can fix this.
Advice? You should have moved when this first happened. Get out of there.
Get out of there. Move.